Fish and chips. Are we ready? Fish and chips it is. Should I open them now or should I wait for someone to turn up to look?
Well, it says one, but I don't know if that's me.
Hello, welcome to you. Have a quick smoke.
I have a hair in my phone from Penny. Hello, is anyone there?
I'm here.
I know you are. Don't bump the phone. Oh, two. So me must be one.
Ah, someone else is here. Maybe if I put that round the other way, I can make it easier over here. Show the fish and chips.
Don't knock it off.
We're going to open up. This is our dinner tonight. This is about $14 worth. You'll be amazed. Ooh. That is fish and chips from where there is one big piece of fish, another piece of fish, another little bit of fish. That is Norwest snapper.
Oh my God, that's heaps.
From Western Australia. It's more than we're going to eat. These are potato scallops.
Say hello to Ross.
Hello, Ross. I can't really see the chat, so.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat for you.
Yeah, this is a piece of fish. So we normally get two pieces. We've got three pieces. Heaps of chips. Yummy. I'll try one of them.
Hi, Ruth. Did I say that right?
And about 6 potato scallops. $14. US about 10. About 10 US.
Oilies.
G'day, Ross. You know what fish and chips are all about.
What's oilies?
A little bit of, I don't know. I can't read the chat real well.
Oh, okay, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Oilies.
A bit of tartar sauce on the side there. Try a little bit of fish. Break a little bit of the fish off.
Right.
Beautiful white flesh Norwest snapper.
Oh.
It's a bit like a pink snapper, but it's a darker skin. Pink is pink snapper. Norwest snapper is sort of a darky black. Very similar, but very firm white flesh. Try a bit of the tartar sauce. That is beautiful. See that?
That's hot. I don't know how you can eat it.
Very firm white flesh Norwest snapper.
It is firm.
Delicious.
Oh, good, I said it right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Roo.
Ruji.
Roo.
Just call him Roo. Everyone else does.
Okay.
That's yum. Batter is crunchy and delicious. We won't eat all this. They always give us way too much chips. Right, so there's another piece of fish. But all these chips, I mean, that's a big pile of chips that we won't eat.
But there's crunchy bits. Sorry if you hear us crunching. Well, not really. It's nice.
Called him Snapper. There's probably a reason why you called him Snapper, though. Let's turn this around a bit so I can see people chat a bit. What is this? What would the feed like this cost? There's 6 of these potato scallops. There's 3 bits of fish. Quite good sized pieces of fish, as you can see in my hand. That's a big size. And a mob of chips, $14. What would that cost in the US? What would it cost over near you, Ross? For his forehead. That's funny. That means he had a bump on his head like a pink snapper.
Ah, now I get it.
Man, there's a heap of food. You guys, if you're just sitting there watching, help yourselves. Just seriously, help yourself. Just leave my bit of fish alone, all right? A spare bit of fish to go around with whoever's there. Morning, VMAC. Fish and chips. Beautiful fish. This is called Northwest Snapper.
Hi, VMAC.
Beautiful.
You got to see VMAC before I did.
You right? Maybe because I'm broadcasting, I
I
don't know.
need a little bit more salt.
I'm good, you can get some more salt if you want it. Yum. Yeah, I've never had fish and chips for breakfast, but it is night time here. Well, it's getting to be night time, the sun's just disappearing. With these potato scallops, oh man. Crunchy.
You better explain that they're potato scallops. They're not fish scallops.
Yeah, potato scallops. What they do is they cut the potato really thin and then they dip it in batter and put it into fry. But normally they cut it a bit thin and they cook it, pull it out, let it go cold, and then put it in batter. But they're yum.
Russ wants lemon on his fish.
Have you got any lemon?
Yeah, but I don't want any of mine.
We do actually. I normally squeeze a bit of lemon over my fish. Make sure you made it to reach the potty, Rujex. 10:05. That means it's 7:05 here. We don't get this very often, probably once every couple of months, you reckon? I have a night off cooking. I never know who's on at this time because it's, what is it in the US? I think it's about 6 a.m. on the East Coast, so mainly these people are either insomniacs, they haven't been to bed, or they've got up really early. Want a bite of the fish?
As long as there's no
Okay.
bones, I'll be
Take a
right.
bite. Crunch. It is beautiful. We'll get this again, this Norway snapper. Right it?
As long as there's no bones.
No. So that's $14 worth. 3 bits of big fish. Chips, we won't be able to eat all them. Heaps of these potato scallops, which are yum. Then slices of potato, par-boiled or par-fried. They go cold and they put them in batter. Absolutely delicious. So I've missed it. If someone said, what would a feed of fish and chips like this cost in the US? Well, you don't buy it like this, I don't know. We're about to go, Roo. We're about to go in about 3 weeks, roughly. And when we get to the UK, this is what the fish and chips will look like. A bit different, but very similar. In Australia and the UK, it's pretty similar fish and chips. Every street corner has fish and chips here in Australia. What's it in the US or Canada? Do you have fish and chips? Yeah, that's good. Feedback, like I say, we'd probably get this once every couple of months. Fish is absolutely beautiful. I mean, if I said it has the same consistency of chicken, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do daylight saving in my state in Australia because we don't agree with it. They've tried for 40 years to get us to do daylight saving. When I had my own soft drink company, what I used to do is tell the guys when they officially, because they tried it for 2 years, when they tried to force it, I just said, guys, I'll see you an hour later in the morning than when you used to be. Other words, exactly the same time that you normally would have come in. They all said, yeah, that's good. So in Western Australia, we said, nah, shove it. We don't want daylight saving. On a bad day in summer, we get 15 hours of daylight. Why would we want more? I missed that. VMAX said something.
Yeah, they use cod or haddock depending on what is in season. What do you guys use? What's this fish? Well, we've got...
We're spoilt here. West Australian coral reefs gives us all types of fish. Sweet lip, trout, this is ocean trout. jewfish. This is snapper, but there's about 8 different types of snapper in the state. So we're sport for choice. But it's a cheap feed. It's nice feed, but it's obviously oily because of all the deep frying that goes on. But we don't, like I say, have it more than once every couple of months. But we do enjoy it. It's very enjoyable. Like I say, guys, just help yourselves. There's more than enough. We won't eat all this. You guys want to try a potato scallop? Is that what your potato scallops look like, VMAC?
They get snapper and sea trout, but here don't use them for fish and chips.
Yeah, it's about, I think the cheapest fish and chips you can get is about $11 something, isn't it?
So that feeds about $18 there.
So it's about 4, but I mean, we've got tons of fish.
So do you have potato scallops?
I'm sure they do.
Because not everywhere in Australia sell potato scallops.
These are homemade. In a lot of shops in Australia, they have these pre-packaged potato scallops, you know, manufactured. I won't buy them. Look like pieces of cardboard. Yeah, pretty much Canada and Australia just float around about the same. You're either a couple of cents ahead or a couple of cents behind. But if you went to a fancy restaurant here and they cooked the same piece of fish and put it on a plate, some chips and a bit of salad, it'd be $30. But because you buy it direct from a fish and chip shop, it's 14. I used to do lots of fishing. I used to catch this one, particularly, Norwest snapper, because I lived in the Norwest. They just always give you way too much chips. I mean, what's a good gauge to see how much chips there? Well, there's a can of Coke. We've already eaten half the chips, and I'm nearly full with the chips, and all these, we'll nibble a bit more, but we won't eat them all. I always tell them that. I said, not so many chips. They go, righto, and they still pile it in. But I do love these potato scallops. Man, you can feel the grease on your fingers though.
Yeah, we get lots of chips with our fish and chips, but to buy a bucket of chips on their own or a scoop, that's actually not that cheap here.
Yeah, you know those little takeaway buckets of chips, they'd be $3.
No, more.
About $3.50. But when you go to a fish and chip shop, I'm not kidding you, there was probably enough chips in here when I first opened it. You know when you buy a 2-pound or 1 kilo bag of chips, that's about what they do each serve. And you just can't eat them all. I mean, with the amount of fish, chips and potato scallops, we could have fed 4 people. Easily. So I thought I'd do something different, right? And chuck a hang up out regarding fish and chips, Aussie style. Do you want to tell them about the GoPro you got and what you're going to do?
No, I do not like GoPros. They're a waste of time. I'm not adventurous enough to use a GoPro. They're an adventure camera. I don't like it. Taking it back.
Yeah, she opened it yesterday. The back screen's really tiny. There's next to no zoom. And it still has that slight fish eye look about it. So she's not happy. So we'll take it back and buy, if need be, a better camera, because when we're traveling we want a good camera to take photos and a little bit of video. But we've got as I'm using now my iPhone, we've got these to take videos as well. There's very nice fish. This one's called Northwest Snapper and has the consistency, without doubt, of chicken. Ah, konnichiwa.
I never get that one.
I don't know. I think that's fish in Japanese. I'm just about done on the chips. If we could not utilise, I like humour, but please don't utilise the side chat to be naughty, if you know what I mean. I think I'll have one more potato scallop. Because my wife's in the side chat now, she'll just boot anyone who's naughty. Like I say, I like humour. Humour's good. Oh, someone got timed out. Can you hear that crunch? That's my potato scallop.
Oh my God, how many times?
What?
I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't do that many times, did I?
I don't know. I think that might be a swear word in Japanese too. Maybe you might have to...
Oh, my fingers are greasy.
Oh, use the greasy fingers just to...
That's why it's... I don't know. But that person's come in before. And I've asked him
I don't
to
know.
speak English. Hi, Danny.
Hey, Danny. Fish and chips tonight. I saved you a piece.
If I've timed someone out accidentally, I apologise. Not sure what I'm doing here.
Like I say, we love humour. Take the piss out of people, but... You know, grumpy people that just want to stir shit. Go fishing. Get your own fish and chips. Can I have the rag, please? Thank you.
I have to go wash it.
I'm full.
Danny, just come in the room and I can have some.
Here's yours, Danny. There's a whole heap of chips, fish, and we even saved you one potato scallop. That's how big the fish is. You look at the can of Coke, it's a big piece of fish. We had one each. But we can't eat the last one, it's too much. Oh, look, Elvis Travels. You obviously don't know much about cooking because what the process with that Elvis was, it's called maceration, to incorporate the flavours and the spices into the raw meat. It's a bit different than browning the meat to keep moisture in it, but you're a dick, so you really wouldn't know that, would you?
Who are you talking to?
Elvis is coming to give me cunningly advice. Says I didn't brown the meat when in fact it was macerated.
What's going on about?
Try and Google that,
wasn't
Elvis.
curry.
I know you don't sleep at night because you're scared of the dark. So while you're up, Google macerate. It's not masturbate, it's macerate. That means you actually add spices, herbs, flavours, textures to raw meat.
When you do a curry, you start from raw. You don't brown it first.
No, you can do. It depends what you're making.
First.
But when you're after an incorporation of flavours and spices, you macerate.
If you're going to come in here, you unblock everyone, or you can...
Ah, fuck him. I don't care.
No, he's got VMAC blocked.
Who's got VMAC blocked?
Elvis.
No, I don't care.
I do.
I'll tell you what he says. He says VMAC is hot.
No, you come in...
No, you don't. Z, you don't have to brown meat. You need to probably speak to your mother, who probably, well, I don't know if you know your mother, but she'll tell you what macerating or incorporating spices and flavours into raw meat is different. For you, the best example, kebab stick. See, that's raw. You don't brown a kebab stick, do you, Zia? You add the flavours and textures and marinate, and then you grill it.
If you want to make a proper curry, you don't have to brown the meat first.
Well, he wouldn't know that. I mean, your food reviews are a bit weird, Zia, because I don't know and never seen, a superb food review done with eating off plastic plates and knives and forks made out of plastic as well. That's, just crap. I mean, your idea of explaining what food is, oh, it tastes good, it's got a bit of garlic and oh yeah, and it's got, the rice is good and the other slop's good as well. Let me
for a while.
put it this way, you
People
couldn't
enjoy
afford this, Elvis.
Fish and chips.
Pot roast is brown before in crock pot. Well, the difference is it's not macerated. You need to Google it. Now, don't go to dog farts and put in macerate because you probably get something
He's
else
asking
come
you
up.
what the difference is. Even in a crock
I've
pot...
explained it to him. When you macerate food, you're actually incorporating spices and flavour. And like I said, Zia, you know what a kebab stick is? You know when you do it on a grill? That's raw when it goes on the grill, but prior to it going on the grill, it's macerated in spices and herbs and yogurt and things like that.
Just hang on a sec. Actually, you don't have to brown anything.
No, you don't.
You don't have to put anything in raw. You can cook it any way you like. You can change the recipes.
I don't know. I think Elvis is some sort of Middle Eastern guy that does food reviews with plastic plates and forks. He's not very big.
All right, so can you unblock people, Elvis? For God's sake, we have a nice normal chat in here. If you want to associate...
He can't unblock. It's too complicated.
If you want to associate with
He's got
people,
me blocked. See, I don't block him.
If you want to associate with people and enjoy hangouts and a normal hangout, then let people talk by unblocking them.
So I don't mind constructive criticism. Good morning, Scarlett. I'm trying to explain to Zia what the word macerate is when you get raw meat and try and add flavours and spices to it. But he just doesn't get it. Look, in India, and I've been there, Elvis, they actually always put raw fish into curries and raw goat into curries.
Oh, for goodness sake, Google it, Elvis. Hi, Scarlett.
Google
Hi, Mama.
the word macerate. Macerate incorporates flavours and textures and spices into raw meat prior to cooking.
And go on YouTube and have a look. There are heaps of places that do not brown the meat first.
They don't in India or Sri Lanka. It always goes in raw. Crab goes in raw, fish goes in raw, goat goes in raw, lamb goes in raw. But he doesn't know that. He's heard someone saying you must seal in the meat. Well, it's different. When you're doing like a stew, it's different. But you don't know how to cook, Zia. You really don't. I've never seen you cook. Man, opening a tin is not a culinary expertise. And eating off plastic plates and plastic knives and forks is pretty low, really.
Seeds' curry he made the other day and put the meat in raw and let it cook slowly for a long time was absolutely divine. With rice,
really beautiful.
It just melted in your mouth and had beautiful flavours.
Yeah, he's a bit weird. I mean, his culinary expertise comes at a counter where he buys his takeaway food.
Don't worry about him, Danny G.
Yeah, ignore him. I'm going to ignore him from now on, actually. He doesn't have the ability to understand what cooking is all about.
If you can't unblock people, then I don't know why you're in here.
Actually, you can give him the royal boot if you want to.
No,
Let him suffer unto little children. But you know the reason why I've got a feed in front of us is because I've always worked. And because I've worked, God says to me, if you work seeds, you shall eat.
Elvis, you don't even listen. Elvis, can you just, I hate doing this, but Elvis, can you please type in 1 if you can actually hear us talking?
Oh, he can. He can
or you're listening to seeds, but you're ignoring me?
Oh, he doesn't speak to women. They're beneath. I mean, you're actually taller than him, which is quite funny. She'd tower over you, Zia.
I'm going to put links. No, I can't because I don't really go watch your videos. But maybe I will. I'm going to put links all through your videos showing you where they can put the meat in raw when they make curries. That it does not have to be brown.
No, he doesn't get it. He's listened to something in regards to sealing in the moisture of meat, and that's quite true.
Pickle,
it's for different foods.
Pickle, last warning, I'll boot you.
What's he doing? What's he saying?
Saying things to Elvis, that's fine, but just be careful what you say, please.
Yes, this is a G-rated, until I say fuck off, content. But you don't understand the cooking process.
Lacey Rocks has followed Elvis in.
Has he? Good morning, Lacey. How are you?
We're doing a fish and chip night.
We've eaten our fish and chips. We can't eat anymore. Can you imagine this delicious Norway snapper, which actually looks and tastes a bit like chicken? And we had 3 big pieces of that. We had 8 or 9 of these potato scallops and more than double of that chips. And that was $14. We never eat it all. We just can't. G'day, Black Cat.
Hi, Black Cat. Yeah, that's because Elvis has got everybody blocked, Ross, so...
That's fine. They don't have to suffer.
Just ignore him. It was very nice, Lacey.
Yes, very nice.
Potato scallops. Do you know what potato scallops is? Do you have them over there? Because like not every state in Australia makes potato scallops, but they do here where we live.
Zia, my wife's hair is naturally curly. That is why she is beautiful. And as given birth to. We've got 5 children there and 8 grandchildren, which means my genes, my genetic masterpiece has been passed down. I have an empire below me.
I so wish you'd.
How many kids? How many kids have you got there? I mean, you must have one, surely. Have you got one?
Oh, you
Or
make
maybe
potato,
2?
You make potato scallop scarlet. Yeah, it's a lot of people actually haven't heard of them. Like when you say scallops, people think we're talking about the fish, but it's like thin slices of potatoes, parboiled, and then in what batter is that? Tempura or beer batter?
No, it's more of a beer batter. Yeah, it's really crunchy. Really crunchy. It's yum. Now, if you like, and if you're very good, my hair was curly, and I actually haven't got a bald spot on the back of my hair. There, it's all hair, and it was very curly when I was younger. When I was probably about
All right, Danny, you're on.
9 or 10, my hair went curly, and it was curly ever since. And it's very wavy if I take my hair out. But the beauty is that everybody is different, and none of us are better than each other. We just all have different attributes.
I mean, I can't even tell, to be honest. I don't even know if that's the real Elvis.
Well, I don't care. I don't block people because I don't fear.
I'm on the mobile. I'm still learning this.
The only time that people block people is because they fear them. They're below them, and they think, I can't have that person in there because they're better than me, and I don't want to feel inferior. So I don't have anyone blocked.
Yeah, it is the real Elvis.
G'day, Itchy Boys. How you going?
Itchy
No,
balls.
I tell you what, Zia, I'm going to give you $10,000 if you can, overnight, produce papers that say you have a royal lineage and that it's confirmed that you're royal blood. So there's $10,000 for you, and I've got the money, believe me.
Yeah, you got the money. And
So-
I'm turning around saying he's getting nothing.
Well, he's not
You can't
royalty.
prove it anyway, but nothing.
Let's put genetics up, Zia. I'm 235 pound. I'm 6'5" with blue eyes. I have 5 children and 8 grandchildren. So my DNA, my superior DNA, because nature doesn't let people produce if they're unworthy, Zia. That's why you don't have any children to take home to your family. Actually, you don't even have a wife. You can take a DNA test. You might be very surprised. Some of you might be actually part human. I'm not sure. But because you do this pretend thing, you're not a king. And you obviously don't want my $10,000 to prove your royal lineage. So that's the lie. That makes it a lie. You're about a foot shorter than me. And I have a chest that's 52 inches across without fat.
Anyway.
And I'm 60.
Anyway, this is a nice, enjoyable hangout.
It is.
Showing people fish and chips. And what has everybody else had for dinner?
I reckon Scarlett had something to do with vegetables myself. Scarlett's a veggie person like me.
All right, is that true, VMAC?
What? I don't get to see half the comments.
VMAC says Pickle Dick was LCD.
No, Elvis, I'm built like a AFL player. You would know what AFL is. I would blow you over in a moment. I'd just shirt front you and you'd disappear. They used to call my nickname on the sporting field Rock.
Itchy had toast and beans.
You have no power, Zia. You are obese. You are morbidly obese. In this country, you would be stage 3 morbid obese, which means basically cardiac failure, stroke. You are in the arena of actually dying
Oh, yum cheese.
from your obesity. So
Danny and Black Cat.
you don't eat anything healthy at all.
Grilled cheese. Danny G had homemade 3 cheese.
Oh, yum. I love that.
Ravioli.
Yum, oh.
Oh, I love
Was there blue cheese in there, Danny?
Oh, and Rue had homemade teriyaki. Beef and rice. Yum. Buttercream.
Oh, yum. Egg drop. Yum. Oh, Vegemite.
Sesame seeds.
She's nearly
chicken.
Australian. When we get to Canada, VMAC, I'll bring you some high quality grade Vegemite.
Oh, but VMAC had
Vegemite?
a boiled egg.
She's in Canada. She has Vegemite. Man, I think one of the
Ricotta.
things that people don't understand about Vegemite is probably 9 out of 10 houses in Australia, everybody eats Vegemite and toast for breakfast. Normally it's when people are busy, they'll make a bit of toast and whack Vegemite on it and shoot down the road to work, eating it in the car.
Be bringing some Vegemite and Tim Tams to England and Germany.
Yeah.
Nicole will benefit from that because we're going to give her some.
Yeah, she's a Marmite girl though, so and I can't stand Marmite.
No, I don't like Marmite.
But we'll give her the good stuff, the good oil, the proper Vegemite.
Elvis, you talk about seeds can't get an Assyrian woman. You can't even get any woman, so...
Zia, the difference between you and me is that I've always loved the female species.
I will get you some.
I've never had to go out with a woman that has a penis. I never have to take home to my mother, who's dearly gone now, but if I walked in with another man, she probably wouldn't have liked it, but she probably would have accepted it. So if you are actually inclined to actually prefer men than women, it's okay, Zia. Can you imagine the support you might get from the gay community if you literally said, look guys, yes, I like men instead of women? Because the Assyrian community in Australia accepts homosexuality, doesn't approve of it, accepts it. It's the 21st century, Zia. Just make a damn video saying, I like boys, I don't really like girls. Because you're always telling everyone how honest you are,
so VMAC,
but you're never honest.
VMAC, can you see Elvis now? Has he unblocked you?
I don't know.
Yeah, because VMAC, I think, no.
He blocks people because they are of either superior intellect or they found out his ruse. That's why he blocks them.
Well,
He always wants new people because old people know what he's up to.
I don't like to be rude to anyone. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard and seen things since 2000 whatever of what that person has said and done.
Oh, he's not got a good future.
And I wish I had an IQ as low as yours so I could enjoy your company.
I've never attacked your family ever, Zia. But you're welcome to keep me blocked.
You're right.
It doesn't
Scarlett.
bother me at all. The only person that I've seen attack your family is you.
Elvis, you're full of shit. You never attacked your family. You lie so much. Anyway.
He's not important. I'm just going to ignore him. Let's talk to the other good people that are here.
What people are having for dinner.
Yeah, his behaviour. I spoke to Zia once on a hangout and explained how he could get help. He does suffer from childhood trauma, without doubt, and he certainly has carried that through his whole life. And he doesn't like women at all. And one of the things that you can do to face some of your demons is to get an expert to reveal those demons to you, and then you can face them. That's the difference. You can live in fear for the rest of your life, or you can face your demons. It's not easy. I told you at that time when I did speak to you, Zia, you need to know who you are. You don't. You have no idea who you are. You're a facade of yourself. You're a 12-year-old boy living in a 37-year-old man's body.
Can we not?
And you're scared of going to sleep at night time. That's why you're up right now. You haven't slept, have you, Zia? Because you would rather sleep during the day thinking you're safer.
Oh, Ross, that sounds all right. I might try that one day.
Who? Oh, no, I don't have you blocked, the man who refused to die.
No?
I don't judge a man by what he says, but I judge a man by what he does.
Well, who's asking? I can't see that. Oh, hi. No.
I don't have anyone blocked.
We don't block anyone.
Oh, you're talking to VMAC. I don't see half the chat because I'm on the camera end of it and I'm old, and my iPhone 7, it's great, but the writing's really small.
So Seeds has got the live stream on, and I'm actually reading the messages on my phone and then relaying it back to Seeds.
Yeah, I'm
so
old.
Scarlett, we will get you some Vegemite somehow. Are you still there, Scarlett?
Yeah, I mean, all serious sides
You're
put
right,
aside.
Scarlett.
I mean, I got if you're there, Zia, I've got to be honest with you. Your future is bleak. You are what we call running on empty. It's very hard for you to accept who you are, your sexuality. You struggle with social interaction with people. You're dysfunctional, And one of the main things that you won't accept is that you have a problem. So you just continue to have a problem. I do notice that someone told me a guy called Norm F has been giving you money. But you know, when you have a problem, Zia, and you throw money at it, all you have is a problem with money. It's not money that's your problem. It's your behaviour. Now I'm done with you. I want to talk to the other good people. Just sit there quietly and do as you're told. This is the king's room.
Oh, you can
You know, the man that's got
mine.
5 kids and 8 grandkids and passed on his DNA to
But-
rule the world.
But Scarlett, is it the good Vegemite? Because they have what I don't know what you want. What I call Clayton means a look-alike or taste-alike Tim Tam overseas, but it's not like our actual one
Yeah.
that we buy in Australia. So I'm wondering if the Vegemite is authentic or not.
Look, I mean, in Australia, I'll be honest with you, particularly that Zia doesn't have
Good.
an RV. He doesn't have an RV. He has a cargo van. What's a cargo van? It's got seats in it, it hasn't got a toilet, and it hasn't got a shower. Might have a big back area if you like, but
mean-
it's a van.
I mean, you better.
You wouldn't survive here. The police would go, "What are you doing?" And you'd say, "I've got an RV." They say, "There's no shitter in there and there's no shower. This is a cargo van. Fuck off."
You better not say it too loud. This is just between me and you. That
What?
your sexuality, you're actually a lesbian.
Yeah, I'm a 6'5" blue-eyed lesbian, but most blokes are. But see, that means I like women even more, Zia, not men. Why don't you just admit on my channel, because I'm an honest character, Zia, that you do like to have encounters with men in preference to women?
All right, get off that subject.
Let's just do it. Let's do it here and now, and I will actually not broadcast this. I will cancel it. But just between me and you, tell me your sexuality preference, because I already know, and I don't hide it, but you do.
Well,
You're more of a man to stand up and admit it than to keep living a lie.
he reckons he's a
You don't
Brahma.
like BBWs, Zia. You never liked
He
women.
reckons he's a Brahma bull, but in Australia, don't they castrate them at what, 12 months old?
No, Zia, be safe. He's such a small little Brahma bull. They just let him run round a paddock with the other lambs.
Oh, stop.
You don't have a preference for women, Zia. It's a lie.
Oh yeah, like Heinz beans and Tim Tams and Cadbury are cool. And my favourite tea is Twinings, English breakfast.
Yeah, I like English breakfast. That's nice. That's really good. G'day, biker. How you doing, mate? But living a lie is not good because it just destroys you on the inside. You know the truth, but you pretend to put a mask on that's not you,
Okay,
which
can
is
I-
living a lie.
Can I ask you a question, Elvis? And like, listen and answer honestly for a change, for God's sake. Why have you come in to Seed's live stream?
He likes my food, obviously. It doesn't come with a plastic
Did you
fork and
come
plate.
in because you saw the picture of the fish and chips? Or did you come in just to let people talk but you ignore them? Why actually did you come in to Seed's live stream?
Well, the truth is about Zia. He will block anyone he fears. He fears people telling the truth to him. He fears people when they basically are more intelligent than him. And the biggest fear is that he's scared of himself. Zia doesn't know who Zia is. Zia sees a reflection on a camera that says, "I'm king." I've got 300 videos on cooking, Zia. How many, other than splattered garlic sauce up against the wall, have you got cooking videos of?
Can you just not ask him any more questions? Too many and he gets confused. I want an answer to my question.
Fair enough. All right, Zia, the wife's giving you an opportunity. Unless you unblock the people in this room, she is going to boot you, because that's mean, that's nasty. And this is a friendly chat here. So we'll give you 5 minutes. She'll give you plenty of time to look at the names in the side chat. Unblock them. You can keep me blocked, by the way. All right, you can keep me blocked. It's fine. I know that you suffer anxiety when I talk to you because you know I speak the truth. But please block all the others. So people, in about 5 minutes' time, if you can't see him still and you can't see his chat, my good wife will assist you in removing him from the side chat.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of... I'm waiting for an answer, Pickle. Yeah, see, you got biker.
Yeah, I'm happy to be blocked too, Batch. I don't care. He offers nothing because he lives a lie. That's all it is.
Well, if you're going to come into Seed Stream, then be prepared to hear some home truths, and people get a little bit annoyed with you.
Yeah, I'm with you, Danny. I don't want to be unblocked.
All right, if the people have voted, keep them blocked.
I mean, all of us generally think about our future. We all do that. No, she's not entertained by you. She's actually disappointed in that you don't live the truth,
Yeah,
Zia.
Seeds could help, but he won't listen, Radar. That's true.
I could help you, Zia. I could phone right now, possibly Chicago, because you're heading that way, and you can get free public assistance. And I'm going to give you a little tip that you may not know. You and I know that you have court order papers heading your way. All right, Zia, not many people here know that, but we know that, you and me. Now, if you actually admit your problems and go to a psychologist within a hospital, it'll be free. They'll look after you. You won't be 5150. They will put you on a program which should protect you from any court papers that may be coming your way, hint, hint. Also, it may put you on a government pension of some sort until your rehabilitation has been completed.
Can you give the man who refused to die your email, please?
Give him that one, the Yahoo one, which is
what is it?
Seeds
Hang on.
59.
Whoops. Oh, yes, Seeds.
So SEEDS 59 at
yes.
yahoo.com.
Sorry, I'm slow at typing. Yahoo.com.
Oh, hello, MB.
Hi, MB.
Here you're getting betrothed. Congratulations on behalf of my wife and I. Very exciting news. Hello, Mel.
And Elvis, no, I'm not entertained by you. God's sake.
We're both saddened by you, actually, because you could be so much more.
Don't put tickets on
and
yourself,
yet
mate.
You are riding a ride to destruction. MB, you're going somewhere. We're actually in the UK in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, and then we're going to Germany. I don't know how we'll do it, but maybe we'll catch up somewhere.
Did you hear that, Elvis? We're going to England, and we're doing a tour around England, London, Ireland, Scotland. Then we're going to Frankfurt, and then we're going to get the train across to Stuttgart.
Nice.
And then we actually are flying business class all the way there and back home. And then towards the end of the year, we'll be heading to Salem.
Yeah. So that's what people get when they do ham and egging, Zia. No, I haven't had a donation yet. I do accept donations in $10,000 increments, because I certainly don't want a poor person to suffer by giving me a few dollars.
I know, that'll be a book signing tour that Seeds will do, but you must bring your own book and your own pen.
Yep. And what I wrote on the inside page is, a seed was here, I didn't write this book. Are you going to make a deal with me? That sounds exciting. Does that mean you're going to come into the open and express who you really are?
What deal, and for what reason?
We're definitely going to Texas, Danny. That's a definite.
You'll get evaluated under what condition?
There are no conditions that I can give you if you want an evaluation. It's simply a process of elimination to find out what phobias you have, what issues you face, your demons. When you actually get to speak to a professional psychologist in the United States, they weigh up all your past and how you're living today and try and find you a path to take you out of darkness. Because Zia, there's only a handful of people in here, but you suffer massive depression. You fear so much. You don't even sleep at night time.
And it's not just one evaluation, it's an ongoing thing you need, ongoing therapy. And nobody would believe it unless you videoed it or proved it anyway.
But what I said is quite true. If you're under a directive of having in a program in the United States for psychological help, you can't be prosecuted in court, Zia. And you know, and I know, that's coming.
And get off Zia for a while. I have a question. Does anyone in the room have a GoPro 7 at all? Does anyone have a GoPro 7?
See you later, MB. Keep in touch. Maybe we'll catch up.
See you, MB.
No, the only one confused, Patch, is Zia. It's terrible to live a lie, it really is. Yes, the sun's nearly coming up, Zia. It must be time to go to bed because all the evil bats and vampires are gone when the sunlight comes up.
You're disgusting. It's as simple as that. You are disgusting.
Oh, it's fine what he does, but the problem is there is no family in his future.
You have a GoPro.
There is no children. There is no, like, walking down the beach holding your grandson or granddaughter's hand, laughing. He has nothing to look forward to.
Well, we got a GoPro.
We did.
I don't like it. I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
I watched some reviews, and I have to admit, I watched Rosie's. But at the end of the day, you need another camera. The GoPro doesn't actually do everything.
Doesn't zoom very well.
It doesn't zoom good, and I want to do like some videos where I can zoom in and out a bit more, and same with photos. Like with the GoPro, you've got to zoom.
Hello, Jojo. Welcome.
Hi, Jojo. You've got to zoom in before you actually do anything, and you can't zoom in and out during the video, and the screen's too small for Seeds to see. And the battery only lasts for an hour and a half.
It's got some great functions,
yeah.
but it's not what the wife wants now, so we'll take that back and get a better camera if need be.
Yeah, I'm going to return ours.
It's a good price though. The GoPro Black 7 was only $499, and that I think about 3 months ago it was going for $750, but it's not functioning for what we need.
Yeah, true, VMAX. He only came in because no one was talking about him.
Like I say, it's very sad. I'll just finish up with that. Zia has no future unless he faces his demons.
So, Jojo, want some fish and chips, mate?
See you, Danny.
See you, Danny. Take some food with you.
I think it's about 8 o'clock at night, and our temperature here, this is the nighttime temperature, 74 degrees. Cool. Very cool for us.
Yeah, well, I'm not impressed with the GoPro, so I'm taking it back.
That's funny, Ross. It's sad he doesn't come out with his sexuality. It really is very sad. It's the 21st century, for God's sake. Hello, Dory, my old-time friend. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, no one...
Help yourself, Dory.
Yeah, go for it. No one cares here. We've got a niece who's gay and her partner's lovely. I've got male friends and female friends that are gay, and we're friends because we're friends, not because of what they do between the sheets. We don't care. But Zia must fear something, maybe his family, his culture. But even in the Assyrian community in Australia, they don't like it, but they certainly accept homosexuality. And like I say, it's the 21st century, not the 17th. I've got a dear friend who lives way up north in Canada. I'll give you an idea, it is about 40 degrees north. Okay, it's actually a bit less than that. It's 30 something, 37 I think. And man, when he gets snow, we're talking 10 feet. He doesn't do anything. He bus drives during the summer and he hibernates for the winter. Does all his own power.
I think he's left the room, VMAC. Doesn't like it when he gets asked questions. Yes, yeah,
we've still got drought. Mind you, my country's dry as a bone all the time. We've had, since the beginning of the year, you know what date it is now, since the beginning of the year, from January 1 until now, we've had 7 millimetres of rain, which is not quite a quarter of an inch in 3 months and a bit, heading for the 4th month, which is normal for us. So a quarter of an inch of rain, and that's really just heavy dew, to be honest. Yeah, but unfortunately for that poor man in the can, the future is horrid.
No, there's no poor man in the can. He knows right from wrong. He knows he can go get help.
I don't mean it that way. I mean, my pity for him is that he has no future.
Well, there's no pity either.
And even getting a couple of $100 or a few $1,000s, he has problems, and throwing money at a problem never fixes it. Trying to fix the problem would help. Even if he came out broken still at the end of therapy, he'd still be a better man for himself, be more honest about his own sexuality, and he would feel better about the people around him instead of living in fear. I mean, I'm not sure whether you all noticed, but he doesn't sleep until the sun comes up because he fears the night. Like a little 12-year-old boy in a car left overnight would be scared. That's every night's the same.
It's basically, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Past habits, future trends. Simple as that.
I don't need a younger woman to make me feel good. My young woman that I'm married to does that all the time. Who are you sleeping with tonight, Zia? Take your time in answering. Come on. I'm sure it must be somebody. Is there a love interest you have? Did you delete something?
No, I timed him out.
Oh dear. You had the wrath of the curly-headed one.
Oh, did I? Well, I don't know what I did. Did I time him out?
You hit him with a fly swat, obviously.
This is fun, having a wrench. I can do stuff.
Emma, hello. That's the remnants of dinner, Emma. That's a big piece of Northwest snapper, which is yum. We had a pile of food and we did our best, but we're done. Can't eat anymore. See, the wife's got her phone over there, keeping an eye on all of you people. See that?
Yep. See? I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's do a little quiz, just for humorous reasons. On YouTube, who fears their own sexuality? Question 1. Who fears their own sexuality? Let's see if people can come up with the correct answer.
Oh, he ain't going to answer because I timed him out.
Because there's a 20-second delay, isn't there?
Yeah,
Something like that.
30. No good question.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand me and what I feel about Zia is I pity him. I seriously pity him. He bounces along the bottom of society, lives in a cargo van. That's all it is. It's just a vehicle. Always hopes that people can bail him out on certain times. I mean, I don't wish that upon anyone. I really don't. I don't wish a lifestyle living in fear, not being able to sleep at night time, the fear of someone coming into your van. It's not an RV. I haven't seen anything to do with RV from Zia at all. He doesn't know how to do anything mechanical, so he can't do videos on how to change tyres or brake pads or anything like that.
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't matter. There's lots of men who can't do manly things, and there's women who don't want to do women things, but they're still a woman, and the man is still a man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but when you're physically able to do something mechanical and learn, you save money.
Yeah, but you can just admit it. You can't do it. It's simple.
Yeah, I mean, I travelled around the country when I was young. I hitchhiked the first time, had a ball. Drove around a couple of times my country. My country is enormous, trust me. It's huge. Yes, she's getting married. She announced that the other day, Dory. Congratulations to her. I think it's the friend she's had for a while.
Well, we hope so. And not some stranger.
I'm pretty sure, even though he's a little bit older, Zia may end up marrying... Who's that little curly-headed bloke that played in the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Danny DeVito. I can see Danny and Zia as partners. One main reason is that Danny is just slightly shorter than Zia. That might give Zia confidence in life. Just a thought, just an idea. No, that's right. There's no question
That's
that
right,
everybody
yeah.
doesn't do the manly or the womanly thing. But I always admire people having a go. Do you know what I mean?
Or admitting it. I have more respect for someone that can admit when they're wrong, or can admit they can't do something, or they stuffed up, and learn from it. I'll have more respect for you than if you just bullshit, say a lie, blah blah blah.
But I honestly could. I could phone people in the United States and have him assessed. It'll be free. There's a service, particularly in Illinois, that you can go to.
Yes,
and they'll give you, and they'll put you on a program. They can do what they call an internal or external program, where you either visit a facility daily or every couple of days, or you actually spend time in a facility, not a prison. You can freely come and go. But it certainly is better in life to face your demons than run away from them, because that means they're still with you. He doesn't get it, and I'm sure even his dear friend Rosie has told him he needs help. I'm pretty sure his dear friend Rory has told him he needs help.
Yes, Biker Aussie. I haven't even had a drink and I can't say your name. Biker Aussie. Yes, you're right.
What was that? I missed it.
He wrote an RV has a shower and a toilet in it.
Yeah, it's just a van. It's nothing more than a cargo van.
Hey, keeping it cool. Well, it's
Keeping it.
Not too early for us.
Oh, we'll get the right camera tomorrow for that.
Dory Lynn, I do not like the GoPro. It's going back. It's not what I want, and I'm a bit fussy.
Yeah, you did right. The best way to save money is not to spend it. My grandfather told me that a very, very long time ago. Best way to save money is not to spend it. In other words, if you can do something that you would normally pay others to do, you've saved money. Grow some fresh vegetables, you save money.
The stabilising, yeah, totally agree with you, Dorling, but there's good cameras out there that do, that I can zoom in and out more with videos and photos, like the Canon and the Nikon, over how you say it.
Nikon, I think it is.
Nikon.
Yeah.
They've got some good cameras. Yeah, they're a little bit bigger, but for what I want to use it for, I'm okay with carrying something around that's a bit bigger. The GoPro, don't get me wrong, does excellent underwater action stuff, but it's not for me as far as videoing and photos what I want.
I'll tell you what, you in Australia, if you've only got a cargo van, but it may have been an RV at one stage, you have to register it just like a normal vehicle, which is more expensive. I'm sure in the US it might be similar, that you get a cheaper registration rate having a RV. If it's just a van, you should be paying what everyone else pays. So if you're driving around in a vehicle that's not an RV, but you're paying only the registration for an RV, it's sort of a lie. It means you're duping out the government of what should correctly be paid. I'm just saying, that's what happens here in Australia. You get a cheaper rate for a caravan or an RV than you do for a normal van.
Did you see that bloke?
That's the wife's bike.
No, that was Biker Aussie just driving past.
All right, that's what it was. Life's too short to live in a dreamland, and life's too short to waste it. We're all going to fall off the perch sooner enough. Yeah. The secret of making money is to work hard, or be smart and earn more. Smarter people make more money than just the average Joe Blows like me and you. But I don't begrudge them. If they're smart, good on them.
Hey Blue, do you want some fish and chips? It's out of camera shot.
Is that Steve?
Yeah.
They don't have fish in Texas. There's no ocean.
What?
Waffles.
Yeah,
Waffles.
I agree, Emma.
Eat me. Waffles. What you talking about, fool? JP just had a big feed of Norway snapper chips and potato scallops.
JP,
You'd have loved it, mate.
JP, where were you?
There's your dinner. We've saved it for you.
When I needed another wrench, I got to use the wrench and time people out.
Yeah, I know they had the ocean and the golf patch. I was just taking the piss out of Steve. He doesn't have the ocean where he is. Yeah, we're sport here for fish, I'll be honest, it really is. I mean, I dived up until I was about 40, but then I just got too busy. But I used to love diving, spearing, what am I going to eat for that night? Scale, fillet, egg and breadcrumb, on the beach. That's fresh fish.
And I'm the one who kiss them and throw them back.
You know, I wish I had these cameras 40 years ago. I would have given you some footage you wouldn't imagine.
See, the GoPro back then would have been perfect for you, yeah. But I'm not keeping the GoPro just to film a few fish underwater.
See, JP is a bodybuilder instructor on the Gold Coast. Occasionally goes to Sydney to catch up with his adoring fans. Usually plays out at the stadium, Anzac Stadium. It's usually sold out. But you know, on the Gold Coast, he's a bit of an icon. You guys, you ladies, don't know what you're missing. We've met JP in real life. And what would you say the word that would sum up what he's like?
Oh, hot.
Oh, well, there you go.
A little honey.
Ooh. But that's all that sunshine on the Gold Coast. That's what it does to you. All those beach babes. And yeah, they're women up there. JP, they're not, you know, women with moustaches. But we're coming to the end of our summer. It's a great time of the year. Actually, better here on the East Coast in Sydney. They still get the odd savage storm.
Hi, Steve.
G'day, mate.
Yes, I did, JP. Yep, I gave him a chance. I think we lost Scarlett because of him. I hope she didn't leave because of Elvis.
Yep. Jack Cousteau. I remember watching his documentaries from 35, 40 years ago.
Jack
Very good.
Cousteau.
His son carried on, but yeah, they were good. I mean, if you can do something in your life, you know, all of you, I mean, I missed out on an opportunity when I was about 28, 29. I could have gone, because I can cook, and I did survey work. I could have gone to Antarctica for, I think it was 10 months, and it just didn't happen. And it's a dream I wish I had have done.
See you, Jojo.
But most of the other dreams I've had a crack at. So if you've got some passion inside of you and you think, oh, I really love to go skiing in Aspen, or I'd like to do this, that, the other, just do it. Just make the effort and buy a ticket and think, you know, that big lump in your throat thinking, ooh, I'm really doing it. Just have a go at it. We have one crack at this, and the planet is not that big. It does help to have a passport, though. Yep, beautiful night.
You spilled beer in your
Still 75 degrees, which is cool.
Yeah, but that's not in Celsius.
No, it's Fahrenheit. Because the Americans can't work out Celsius.
But
I'll do it in Celsius. It's about 20.
Isn't Canada?
Yeah. For all our Canadian friends, I'll put it to Celsius. 24. Beautiful weather. About 3 odd weeks away, we're off, JP. And then we're doing a pilgrimage of what JP did, because he's now regarded as a bit of a messiah in Ireland and Scotland and the UK. So we'll follow in his footsteps and lay rose petals wherever he's been.
And fix up what he did.
And fix up Stonehenge, because he changed it to look like the word Boit. Now looking forward to that. Looking forward to go to Germany. Brushing up on a little bit of German doesn't hurt. Well, I don't know if you missed it. The wife got a black Hero 7 GoPro, and she had it yesterday, and she's taking it back tomorrow because it's not going to do what she wants it to do. So we'll get a different camera.
I think I just went along with the hype.
Yeah, we weren't even looking at the GoPros, to be honest. We were looking at other cameras, DSR, and what was the other one? DSR, but there was that other one.
DSLR.
Digital zooms, and the GoPro 7 has no zoom really. My iPhone has a better zoom, and that's not that good.
The bravest thing I did was spend 3 years in Belgium on a work contract. Absolutely loved it.
Brilliant.
That was Emma who wrote that.
Yeah, brilliant. There's lots of things that we think about doing, but we should just do them. You know, it's okay to fail. That's something people fear, is failing. Oh well, so if you did something and it falls over, like a business, well, you had to go. There's nothing wrong with having a go. It's a case of getting up again, shaking off and doing something else. I'm actually going back, Dory. I left the UK in February, late February of 1969. So I'm going back just over 50 years ago since I left. I grew up there as a boy. So, and I remember heaps when I was a kid, of course. So going back it's not super emotional, but it's certainly going to be an emotion to be back on the soil that I was there 50 years ago.
And go look where you lived.
Yeah, we're going to look at an old house where I used to live.
And try not to scare the people that live in there now, thinking that we're stalking their house.
See you, JP.
See you, JP.
Have a good one, mate. But you can't do a lot in only 3 or 4 weeks, but we love history. So there's lots of castles involved and historical sites that we're going to see. We're also going to visit a few pubs and enjoy the local fare.
Yeah, I can't blame you, Blue. He spilled beer on his keyboard.
Oh dear. Better do a GoFundMe, Steve. I reckon the new keyboard would cost at least $7,000. Everything's expensive on the bottom of YouTube. Eyeliner, $9,000 required. Did you send the kind to his homeland? I'm not sure what that means, keeping. Or did you mean king? No, my wife sent him to his
Yeah, I did. And
42 male virgins.
And I totally enjoyed it. I have the power. If I have power, I'll use it.
Yeah, Steve, at least $7,000 for a keyboard. Now come on, things are expensive on the bottom of YouTube. What would normally cost you $10 at a shop is $7,000 on Boit. We could do Star Wars. That's the mothership, all right?
What?
Dun, 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 dun. Got to aim for the center and drop the bullet right in the middle. Dun, dun,
That's all
dun,
right.
dun, dun, dun.
I'll give Seats his tablet shortly.
Be sure to see the sequel, 2 Chips Down. It's nice fish, actually. Not sure what we're going to find a cat, I think.
A cat?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
to feed him the fish.
No, the birds.
All the birds, yep. An animal will get it.
I don't even see that. I don't even see that text.
I've never liked planes as much as being cramped, but we're going business class, so you can sleep. We will. We'll try and do a few hangouts, not many. Not sure what Wi-Fi will be like here, there and everywhere, but we'll do a heap of videos. And the wife's very good at editing, so you'll get some good quality videos, probably on her channel, not mine.
What? No, it'll go on yours.
Right, okay.
By the way, I'm channel building, just to let everybody know.
Yes, if you're not listed to Mystic Angel's channel, she does a video every 3 years.
Yep.
So if you want to build up that channel, I don't know, 20,000 subscribers, so she can monetize and buy more fish and chips. I've been monetized for years. I mean, I really have. I've never put up Super Chat. Why? Because it's not right. I do believe that you work for a living. I truly do.
Super Chat's fine.
I don't mind helping people out, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but I'm very circumspect in who we do help.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care who has what.
No.
We give to who
And
we want.
if we put Super Chat on our videos while we're travelling, everyone would say, yeah, buy a Guinness. And I'm thinking, well, I can buy my own.
No, you'd be drunk. So let's do it.
I don't drink that much. I'm not putting any Super Chat up. I've known Keeping It Cool for a very long time. I've known Steve for a very long time. I've known Dory probably the longest. There's a lot of people on here that think some people are new, but they're not. Now, if you're not subbed to Dory's channel, please do, because she does some incredible work there. She's very artistic.
She needs to put more up.
Yeah, she's been a bit lazy, let's be honest. Dory, you've been a bit slack.
Sorry, you're a bit like me. A video every 3 years. Actually, I'm not that bad.
No, and I know you have. I know you have done a lot of things. You just haven't filmed a lot of things, Dory. Woohoo, she got married. You haven't got time. Oh, I get it. No worries. Say no more. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink to a blind man. Good on you. Actually, Boit's a little bit like Monty Python, isn't it, when you think about it? It's very similar. You know, like that scene where Brian is running away from all the people saying, I'm not the Messiah, leave me alone. And he loses his shoe, his sandal. Do you remember that scene? And they all stop, John Cleese, and everyone stops, and they go, we shall follow this sandal. And then some lady holds up a gourd, says, no, we must be true to the gourd. Says a lot about how some religion started.
Yes, you should do more, Doreen. If you do more, I'll do more. Yeah, quality content. Well, I can try.
Oh, when you get your new camera, you'll be able to do...
I suppose if I'm channel building, I should really do something, shouldn't I?
Oh, well, you will with the new camera, for sure. She liked photography.
Well, it depends
Hello, Steve.
what condition they're in.
What's that?
Blue found a heap of Star Wars collection in a dumpster.
You know, amazingly, in Australia even, I'm sure it's the same in the US, but you know when kids used to go to a fast food store and they give away Star Wars, things like that. One guy had the complete set of whatever series it was, 22 grand he sold it for on eBay. Someone in the US bought it. Because people want it. People collect all sorts of things. It's unbelievable.
Your dog was chewing on some of the stuff this morning. Chewing on the Star Wars collection.
I was in a funny hangout yesterday. Laurie Green's got me as a wrench. I never use my wrench, but she's got me as a wrench. And they're having a full-out war. And I actually typed on that video later, this is a recording of a 1977 lunchtime break at the Junior Boyd High. And you could buy the full series on Amazon for $19.99. But I think she took that down. I don't get why people just want to fight every day. Just because you don't like me, I don't like you. Yeah, but you said you didn't like me first. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I've got tapes. I've got proof.
There's zombie.
It's pointless.
Have some fish and chips.
It's this arguing about shadows and people you've never met and going through the process of being vindictive and nasty. And let's say you win. Let's say you win in this battle. What is the damn prize?
I don't quite know what blue means by it. Has the titanium micro machine stuff.
He's probably talking to someone else. This is a country chat. They're not even listening to me. But it's true. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I know some people don't leave their home for whatever reason, and I get that. But there's a lot of better things to do than just argue with people you don't know.
Are you going keeping?
See you keeping? Yeah. I'm not telling people what to do, but my God, I'll go and hang out for a couple of minutes and then I'll come back 6 hours later and they're still arguing. Yeah, it is. It is a battle of the egos, but there is no prize. There is no...
Oh, I thought we'd lost you, Scarlett.
There's no Academy Award on Boyd for winning an argument.
Oh, Blue, that's me.
I did. You probably noticed that one, Emma. No one listened to me, of course, because they're too busy fighting each other.
Yeah, it's easy. Blue, that is really mean. I mean, you got the stuff out of a dumpster. What do you expect the dog to do? He's going to smell all the other stuff that was on. You got it out of a dumpster, for God's sake.
I've got some good friends in Texas I'll be catching up
Hey, baby doll.
with, and hopefully...
Yeah, do you want some? Baby doll, some nice fish and
Yes. I can only take so much of it, though, this full-on war that people have, and I just leave. It's pointless.
No, it was, what's the fish? What was the fish again?
This was Northwest Snapper, really firm. Well, honestly, it tastes like chicken, and I'm not saying that because, you know, everything tastes like chicken. It's firm flesh. I'll crack this one open for you. This one's going to the birds anyway. But give you an idea, that's what it's like. It is, whoop, bit of focus.
Yeah,
It's like chicken, Norway snapper. It's clean, white.
Yeah, it'd be good to make
fish, and is delicious. No, it does. It really does. Has the consistency of chicken. Does not taste fishy at all. I've never eaten fish that tastes fishy. because that's my sense of saying don't eat the damn thing.
Yeah, it did. It was good texture.
I just, Steve, I don't get it. I don't understand. And I watch Dory on occasions try and mediate and say, come on, settle down. And she gets ignored. They don't want to listen to reason. That's why I'm always, if I'm ever in a room like that, I'm always joking. Or I start talking about gardening or fertilisers. And people say, what are you going on about? I'm trying to change the subject.
Oh, no, the birds will get it, Emma. We've got crows and things.
Yeah, the crows will eat the chips, but probably
Or-
only give them a few each because
Yeah, not too
lots of
much.
oil. But the
Yeah.
fish, the birds will goffle down for sure.
Or next door's chickens.
Yeah, that's an idea. Just run over the chickens to get them. We'll have chickens at the end of the year. But if there was this is a good question. I think there's about 20 people here. Good question to ask. What in life is there that you want to do? And don't be rude. We all know that everyone wants to do that. But what is there as far as like, I always wanted to do this. What is it with you guys? What is it that you really want to do? Yes, I believe that, Scarlett. It's very much an Australian Aboriginal custom when crows visit. It's your past family members coming to talk to you. That's very much an Aboriginal tradition.
Yeah, open up first.
We're going to hit the hard stuff now.
Yep.
But there must be something you guys, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but is there something you really want to do?
Yes, I actually like crow, Scarlett.
Blue, just stick it in the dryer and leave it on high for about an hour. That'll dry it out for sure. It'll probably melt, but still,
Yeah.
it'll be dry.
What are you telling him to do?
And then if it melts in a circle, you can put it around your wrist.
You're not telling him to put his keyboard in the dryer, are you?
Well, I mean, it might shrink and be, like a big
God.
bracelet, but then he can just type on it. Put it on his left arm and just type on it.
I think I've been
Very futuristic.
disconnected.
Well, we won't hold all you good people up any longer. I think we'll another couple of minutes and we'll turtle off. But there's lots of things I want to do. I've been doing quite a lot of them, but they're not the same, Vinny. Mate, we just had a massive feed of fish and chips, potato scallops, and a fish's Norway snapper. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, you want some, Vinny?
$14, and that's what we couldn't eat. You're seeing there. We couldn't eat it. It's just too much. Beautiful Norway snapper in WA. Literally the consistency of chicken. But we get spoiled in Australia for fish. Well, we do in my state. Well, Emma, travelling and money. You've got to set aside enough to enjoy what you want to do. No point going somewhere and eating ramen noodles every day.
Don't forget, you can also enjoy your own surroundings. You'll be surprised how many people don't actually know of a lot of stuff around their own area that's enjoyable, cheap or free.
I suppose because in your own area it's just there and you can go and do it any time you like, but then you don't.
Exactly.
People don't do it. I put chilli on my fries. Yeah, I love chilli. Oh, I love it. I make my own chilli sauce. Burn most people's top
lip.
lip.
Dip it in the tartar and take a bite. No, it's been
No,
sitting,
I mean, we just ate so much.
it's been sitting there too long now.
It was a ton of food. Enjoyable, very enjoyable, but it's time for the chickens or the crows or the parrots. Parrots don't mind fish too either. Yeah, I'm not into oily fish much, even though albacore done on the barbie comes out real nice.
Who
Comes
in
out like
here-
chicken.
Who in here likes salmon?
No, I'm not big on salmon.
No, I'm just curious. When we lived in Tasmania, we lived next to a guy who worked at the salmon farm, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he was the initial
And I
manager.
mean,
Yeah.
salmon, well, in Tasmania was expensive and in WA.
They do, Benny. They
He gave us
KFC.
a whole whopping big salmon, and we don't like salmon. So, but
Just
we
too
tried
oily.
it. We tried it different ways.
Yeah.
Whatever we tried it, whichever way we could, and I just don't like it.
He kept bringing them over, and I
And
said
we
after
said
about the
no.
fourth one, look, no, because we were giving the other stuff away. Found a couple of old people. Do you want salmon? Oh yeah, I'll have that. But yeah, no, it's not my cup of tea. I like firm white flesh from coral reefs.
Yeah, Seeds eats vinegar on him. He likes salt and vinegar on his chips. I don't.
I don't mind. Italians make a beautiful vinaigrette to go on some smelt. You've had that, Vinny?
I don't like tuna
That's what
either.
Dory's talking about.
Yeah.
That's really good. They make it
Ah.
really crunchy. It's called something
Oh.
special.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dory can come up with it. They deep fry smelt, and it's got salt on it and vinegar. It's like an aperitif before you have your entree. They'll put a big bowl of that in an Italian restaurant in front of it. And when I first saw it, it looks like smelt that you'd have baked. But when I tasted it, man, it was good. It was beautiful. Yeah, no, carp are no good, mate. They're crap. Absolutely awful. Unfortunately, our rivers are full of the bloody things. Well, what's left of the rivers and the fish, of course, because they're all dead nearly.
I haven't had flounder.
I used to always go diving or fishing, and I'd cook on the beach. Always just take eggs, breadcrumbs, a bit of flour, fry pan, of course, a bit of oil, and no food. And I'd go up north in this state and fish for about 10 days. And we'd take some spuds, you know, some veggies and whatever, but generally everything we ate we caught, but we never brought anything home. We just ate what we caught there. Oh yeah, you don't want to get caught with it. Don't want to get caught with even one tilapia in Australia. You're in deep shit.
Yeah.
But we are sport. I mean, I must admit, Vinny, if you've not been to West Australia and seen our beaches, they're like aquariums. There's no crap. There's no mud until you get way up north into the mangrove country. But generally, our beaches are pristine because we don't tell anyone about them. So I'm going to use the Men in Black laser on all you people shortly, and you say, I don't know nothing about West Australian waters.
Now, hate is a very strong word. Hate is not a word I use lightly, but I absolutely hate anchovies. I never ever want them. I've tasted them, and I
Sounds good,
hate
Scarlett.
them.
Sounds good. In Massachusetts, you can get good seafood. Yeah, but I mean, Boston's a seaport area, isn't it? There's plenty of fish there. King crabs. I do like a diversity of food. Fish, like I say, I'm not real keen on oily fish.
Oh.
I'll eat it, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't order it again, but I would eat it if someone offered it to me. Anchovies, no.
I've tried anchovies. Accidentally, someone gave them to me once, and I just thought, ugh. Oh, you're kidding, Vinny.
What's that?
Vinny loves anchovies. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I first had anchovies when I was about 17 or 18. Someone bought a pizza, and I was starving. I'd just come back from footy training. Had a shower, come out, hoed into this, folded over a bit of pizza, and I thought someone had crapped on me pizza. And I nearly choked and gagged for about an hour afterwards, and I swear I was going to punch somebody in the room thinking someone had set me up. And they said, it's just anchovies.
Emma, do you like
Don't ever do that to
anchovies?
me again, or you're dead.
Emma, do you like anchovies?
Look, you can cook with anchovies, but it's just as easy to use salt, Vinny. Anchovies, because of the processing, is usually very salty, and it just melts away into whatever you're cooking.
Okay, Blue, if you
But
don't...
just add salt.
If you don't type, we know you've electrocuted yourself. Oh, that's mean, Vinny.
What's mean?
He chases his wife around with anchovies. She doesn't like them either.
Is that what he calls his penis? His come here, darling, I want to show you my anchovy.
Oh, that's-
Now, Vinny, secrets are coming out. Yeah, I don't blame her. I give her 500 not to eat them. Anchovy breath.
So, Emma, did Emma answer me? Emma, do you like anchovies?
Yeah, she says she loves them.
I know you don't like sardines, do you? Because I agree with you there. I don't like sardines either. Oh, oh my God. Okay, if we go out to dinner, You can sit at the other end of the restaurant.
You can sit outside with a strong breeze. Each their own. Everyone, look, I love blue cheese. My missus won't go near blue cheese, so everyone's got a different taste. But it's like there's all different. There's you can get all types of foods that people would sit down and half would eat it and half wouldn't eat it. This we've had tonight, like I say, we don't have this stuff, if not every couple of months, even longer. Why? Because it's full of bloody oil and it's fatty, but it's nice. It's nice, don't get me wrong.
Banana fritters and pineapple fritters. I love them. I love pineapple. And fritters, yep.
Dory, do you do anything with bananas, like the right bananas, mix them with a bit of flour and sugar and an egg, and then do like big droplets of the dobs into the fry pan? Do you do those? I don't even know what I call them, but I cook them up and they're yum.
What's that?
Bananas, flour, a little bit of egg. Yum.
Oh, when you mix the stuff up.
Yeah, when the bananas are getting a bit too ripe.
Yeah, I like camembert.
I like all types of food, Mexican, Chinese.
Why do they spell camembert the way they do when it's actually pronounced
banana bread,
camembert?
that's yum. It's camembert. Well, it's because of how people are taught to say it. If you want to be phonetic, you'd say camembert.
Yeah, I love
It's like when you go to a new country and you try and learn their language, you actually say their words phonetically and they laugh at you.
olives. Yep, I like the.
Yeah, we love olives.
The dark olives. What's the?
I eat all olives. Not many people know, Vinny would know, you can eat olives fresh off a tree if you wanted to. Bit bitter, but after about 3 or 4 olives, that bitterness disappears.
Fried. Is that green bananas? It's God stuff. So if you've plugged your keyboard in, your spelling's crap blue.
That's probably what it is. I've got no A or R or K anymore, so I'm going to have to make the words up.
4 bean mix. Chop up some red onion, a bit of olive oil,
a bit of vinegar,
only a touch of apple cider vinegar, and red onion mixed through the 4 bean mix. Yum.
Yeah, beans are good. But like I say, a lot of people won't eat certain foods just because of the thought of it. I'll be honest with you, I've tried all sorts of foods and some I won't eat again.
No.
But I am willing to give it a go. If someone said this is something you never had before, I'd give it a go. I might say it's great or it's crap. I've never been one to go backwards. If someone invited me around for dinner and say, what do you think of that? I say, that's terrible, mate. Have you got any bread? I would.
Cold broccoli with a load of garlic and a great salad dressing. I'll have to try that.
I used to eat raw oysters all the time. I used to go diving, Dory, and I put a little bottle of Worcestershire sauce in my back pocket, find a coral outlet where all the oysters at low tide are sitting there, and just with a knife, I'd crack them open, put a bit of Worcestershire on top and eat them raw.
I don't like oysters or mussels either. I used to work in a pub and cook for the contractors. Oh, and they always wanted their oyster Kilpatrick.
Well, you couldn't eat where he eats, Finny, because he only uses plastic plates and plastic forks. I've never seen you with either of those.
Yeah, mashed. Yeah, it does.
It looks like something's been eaten and then put on a plate. I haven't seen anything that I would constitute as a meal. It's like someone's, like a cow's third stomach's regurgitated it. It's been put on a plate and called a meal. And then you pick up your plastic knife and fork on your plastic plate and go, yummy. What's Sir Storming? Oh, you want me to shut up? Okay, I'll just let the wife talk. And action.
Well, I don't understand. What's that word?
Yeah, flake, yeah.
Grilled flake. Do
Fish,
I like
fish,
grilled?
fish.
I always have to ask Seeds if I like certain fish because I trust him. He will catch it, cook it, clean it, whatever. I don't go by fish. I just eat what he cooks.
My favourite fish of all time is whiting. Yes, you need to catch food and have a big feed, but I love whiting. Just simply flour, egged, breadcrumbed. It is divine. Of all the fish I've caught, whiting.
Back.
Hello, VMAC.
She's back.
But I've got to shut up because Steve wants to hear your voice, which means in the background he's just pushed his keyboard aside and
Stop it.
and he's fapping away.
Stop it. Tiger flatheads.
We get tons of flatheads here, mate. You'd love fishing here.
Yeah, he did use a big word, didn't he?
Nothing like going camping,
Put it
chucking
on.
your blanket on the sand, light a fire, cook the fish that you've caught that day, a few beers. Brilliant. I don't know about you, Vinny. Did you hear the other day? Oh no, look, jewfish in Western Australia is $145 a kilo, Vinny. But in New South Wales, and this is the same in Australia, there are more guns in Australia now than there ever have been.
The white baiton ate it.
There are 5 million people in New South Wales and there are 4 million guns registered. But Americans think we don't have any of them.
What,
Let's keep it that way. No, guns.
Then he cooked up white baiton ate it.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm sure you used to jig for white bait, you know,
That's like
big net.
Vinny, you like roll mops, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not keen on them.
My mum used to love them.
You only get about 4 in a bloody jar
Yeah,
anyway.
I won't eat roll mops. Tried them once, but my mum used to love them.
It's just pickled fish, that's all it is. Yeah, let's talk food. Far more interesting. You can see the culinary expert coming out in Vinny. Open a jar of roll mops and put them on a salada biscuit.
My mum used to like roll mops, and she'd either buy the black bread or the dark bread and butter it.
Normally the dark black bread, didn't she?
Yeah.
German bread, if you've never had it, is, well, they make normal bread like we eat, but they also like making heavy, dense bread. And it's nice. Most of the time I find it nutty. It's delicious. How about all you people in the room make one food video?
Yeah.
Just one food video. Just for the hell of it. You don't even have to put your face on camera. You don't even have to talk. Could be from a burger to a burger on. But let's just have a crack at making one food. Yeah, I've just made a food video now. No, I didn't make this one. I bought it. Oh yeah, roll mops, very popular in Australia. Fish is eaten in massive quantities here because we've got lots of it. Roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, now we're talking.
Oh yes, Scarlet. Yeah, yum. Oh no blue cheese for me, thanks. Can you make one without the blue cheese?
I'll tell you, I'll give you a secret, Vinny, with making something taste awesome. Is like, let's say you buy a couple of nice bits of steak you're going to throw in the barbie. Just get some teriyaki sauce and put your meat into a plastic bag and just leave it overnight. And then cook it on the barbie. That teriyaki sauce macerates, as I tried to explain to Zia earlier, what maceration is. It has nothing to do with dog farts. But you macerate it and, mate, it's got a taste, makes it as tender as you can imagine.
Okay, I've got to try what?
No, Blue's not scared to meet people, mainly because he brings 3 weapons, a taser,
Black Cat, she
small
made
explosive
Black
devices.
Cat made a complete meal because you made her hungry.
Good. Food's good. I'm not very good at doing what I do. I just enjoy cooking, I'll be honest with you. My only thing that I like about food is texture and flavour.
Oh yeah,
I don't really care if it doesn't look that good.
We have done that, Vinny.
What's
that? Minced our own chicken and made our own chicken burgers.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not good with processed chicken or...
Any raw meat, let's be honest.
True.
She picks up raw sausages with the tongue. Like it's venomous.
God, you make me sound like I'm fussy, like some...
They are good. I tell you what, you can make a good Thai version of that, Vinny. Do you know that it's like a curry Thai sauce to make either green curry...
Please set up the power of the recording
What's
button.
that?
It's recording what you say.
He's recording. Steve is a wanker. Steve is a wanker. Steve is a wanker. He'll cut that out, you know. He will. He'll cut it out. I'll get rid of it. Yeah, any sort of Thai curry base, green, red, or whatever. Just a spoonful in that mixture of minced chicken. Absolutely fantastic. You can make so many different type of chicken things with from chicken burgers to... we do like, I'll buy fresh chicken breast and I will make chicken schnitzel.
Well, that's good, Dory.
I love it. Here's a good question. I think I've asked it before. How many of you in the United States or Canada have a passport?
Yes, Emma. He's doing the live stream with his iPhone 7.
Yeah. So how many of you have a passport that you could leave your country and visit somewhere?
Yes, VMAC, it's ground.
Scarlett has a passport. It's good. We might do a competition in the future of bringing someone to Australia.
So you like the raw mince. Do you mix onion?
Tartar.
Tartar. Do you mix onion and a raw egg in that and have it on bread? Because my mum used to do that too.
Yep. Yep. Just got to make sure there's no fat in there. I don't mind raw fish. When I was on the beach and it was too windy to light a fire, I'd just make a mixture of vinegar, a bit of lemon, if I had any horseradish, or what's that Japanese wasabi, a little bit of that, and I'd just marinate it in that for about half an hour. It's as good as cooked anyway.
God, you're so mean, Vinny. Chased his wife around with the raw mince. Now, my mum used to put raw onion chopped up real fine, an egg, salt and pepper, mix it and then put it on bread.
Here's a short dramatic interlude. I hate you. I've always hated you. I hate you more. I hated you first. No, I hated you first. Hang on. Berg me up. Now listen. No, 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 no. Shut the up. And cut. That's just for Steve for his recording.
Oh. Oh yeah, black pudding. Mum used to fry that with potatoes.
Yep, I don't mind black pudding.
Fried potatoes, black pudding chucked in.
The best part about food is, I swear to you, if you went back on my videos and you saw me make 3 versions of the same thing, it would all be different because it's what's there at the time and what I feel like, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll try this. There are no hard and fast rules in cooking. Don't ever follow a recipe if you don't like, say, coriander. Don't put it in there. I'm not big on coriander at all. I don't mind it minced completely up with, say, a Thai sauce, but not as a main ingredient like in a salad. Can't hack it. But food is what you make it. Don't have to follow a recipe. If you think something looks good, but you don't want 1 or 2 of those ingredients, add something different.
Yeah, that's true, Black Cat. Good thing is you can eat it. Rabbits. Yeah, I used to help Dad.
Oh, I used to eat tons of rabbits,
yeah,
mate.
go rabbit shooting and help him.
I've had more rabbit than anyone here, I'd reckon. Nothing wrong with rabbit. Good rabbit casserole is good.
Yep, true, Scarlett.
Look, if you cook rabbit properly, it really does taste like chicken. Bit darker, but tastes like chicken. Now, pink and grey galah, on the other hand, the meat is actually pink and grey. I kid you not, Vinny.
Yeah, but you've
I had a casserole of pink and grey when I was a young apprentice.
Yeah, but the joke with the pink and grey is you chuck it in a pot with a rock, and when the rock's soft, the birds cook.
No, it was good. It was onions, garlic, potatoes.
Yeah, I don't like oxtail.
It was yum.
VMAC, being German, I grew up with all that sort of food, like Vinny's mentioning. That's why I know it all, tasted it all, but there's a lot of it I don't like anymore. Oxtail soup Mum used to cook.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't eat cat
Blue
deliberately.
waffle, do you want me to time you out?
But I mean, for me, look, if it's a country that eats cats, I'm not going to argue with them. You go to Korea, you'll if you ask, or parts of Japan, if you ask, you'll get dog. You go to France, on the menu of most classy restaurants in France, you'll get horse. So what's normal for some people? I mean, if I said to you, we eat kangaroos with their cute little furry faces and their cute little hands looking up at you, we eat them.
Well, that's good, Dorothy, an experiment. I've got to say, accidentally, I don't know, it was a friend, another European friend when I was in primary school, shared their sandwich with me. I thought, well, this is nice. I found out later it actually was horse meat.
I've eaten racehorse, Goanna. I haven't eaten blue tongue. I'd eat anything, honestly. Bit of salt, pepper, bit of curry powder if required to kill the taste. I have eaten a lot of things, and if I'm hungry and the world turns to shit, I'm going to be fine. I've got 65 million kangaroos, and I know where there's a source of curry powder.
Yeah, back true. You eat straight. I suppose it's all over the world, really, when you think about it. Like when we went to Vietnam and they had those jars of insects and the alcohol with armadillo in it.
Well, I did a video
Oh, that was disgusting.
a couple of years ago. Well, if I had to, Emma, I would. Wouldn't worry me. If that was my course and that's all I could get, yep. We eat tons of veggies anyway. But when I was a kid, my grandmother's mother, which is over 200 years ago, showed my grandmother and my mother how to make pea and ham soup. And all it is split yellow peas and a smoked ham hock. The soup that comes out of that is unbelievable. It is so delicious, so simple. I'd eat anything, Blue. Honestly, I would eat anything if I was hungry. There is no objection to me if I feel like I would die if I didn't eat.
I would have to be starving to eat anything. It's like one country eats guinea pigs. That's their delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you see all these little guinea pigs running around. Oh my God, no.
I eat bugs. I'd eat bugs any day. If you ever go to Thailand, VMAC, most of the market stores have hundreds of varieties of bugs for you to eat. The mealworm is probably the most palatable, but you can eat crickets, cockroaches. I know people are going to vomit now. Beetles. Do they taste fantastic? Not really. Wouldn't order them on a menu, but if I had to eat them, I'd eat them.
My daughter, she was still crawling, and I saw this thing sticking out of her mouth, and I pulled it out. It was she'd put a cricket in the mouth, and it was the leg sticking out. Oh my gosh.
Here's a question. How many people have been to Thailand? Yep, that's the go. Yellow split pea soup.
So you've had witchetty grub, Vinny?
Witchetty grub's all right. It's got a real weird taste between walnut. Depends which grub you get. Big fat ones we get in WA, but like walnut, creamy. Yeah, we get sugar ants here too. Yeah, big buggers.
I could live with being a vegetarian.
There's no such thing as a vegetarian if there's no vegetables to eat and there's no vegan food to eat. You would eat anything. On principle, you'd say, I'm only eating this to keep myself alive, and I'd say, that's fine.
Well, Seeds reckons he's a vegetarian. He only eats cows that have eaten grass.
That's true. I don't eat cows that don't eat grass. They must be grass-fed.
Actually, we sometimes go out and I'll have a vegetarian meal because nothing takes my fancy.
Well, you cook up, wife does a veggie dish of onions, sweet potato, pumpkin, carrots, whole mixed thing, and cover it in oil, bit of salt and pepper, bit of paprika, throws it in the oven, so like little roast veggies, and we have a big plate of it each with sour cream and chili sauce on top of it. It is delicious. That's vegetarian, but it's a great meal. It's so diverse food. You go from one side of the planet to another, and the same meal is done differently, tastes differently. I don't need a gun or a knife to survive, Vinny.
Oh, you sort of do.
I could still free dive 20-25 feet, get crayfish, get crabs. I wouldn't go hungry. I know how to turn salt water into fresh water, which gives me not only fresh water, it gives me salt. And believe me, if the world turned to shit, the people that are the salt makers will be very wealthy.
That was very poetic.
It's true though, because you used to get paid in salt in Egyptian times and times even further back. Salt was unbelievable because you can preserve foods with salt. You had texture and flavour to foods. So 2,000 years ago, I'd have been a multi-billionaire because I know how to make salt. Okay, get your little charger thing.
Oh yeah.
There's so many basic things, like if I told people, if anyone might know this one, if you go in the bush, you try and pick a deciduous tree, one that loses its leaf during winter, because a lot of eucalypt trees don't do very good at this, but you can still get it. If you just get a huge plastic bag and get your mate to wrap in about 8 or 9 big branches of leaves, and you tie that plastic bag around it, and you do that in the morning, by the end of the day you'll probably have about 5 gallons of water through osmosis. So that's how you can get water when there doesn't seem to be any water around. It's all dry everywhere else, but the tree does all of the work for you. You will survive by using plastic wrapped around leaves and left for a day. You will have tons of water. But don't do a eucalypt tree. You know what I mean? Eucalypt water's not the best. Find a tree that's deciduous that loses its leaves during winter, because that's usually fairly filtered. But if you're thirsty, there are many ways to make water. If you're down by the beach, there's no water, but you've got a fire and a big pot, get a few gallons of water in there and get a lid that leans to one side and have a little reservoir that catches the evaporation, which is pure water. What you're left with is water that's been purified and salt in the pan. So you can survive, just some basic knowledge. Number 1 priority, when the shit hits the fan, water. Hello Awesome, how are you? Question 19. Who's the cutest Canadian hangout person on YouTube?
Cutest Canadian hangout, what?
Not Canadian. You know what I mean.
No.
I was talking about Awesome.
Oh. Yeah, do you want some? It's fish and chips.
They do, they actually do. Baby koalas eat their poo, mum's poo, because it's got bacterial influence for their gut. It's funny when you talk about what's in us now. I mean, Blue, not quite as old as I am, but he's there, he's getting there. And so is a few people on the bottom of YouTube. But the diseases that were around when we were younger, we're immune to now. Why? Because we lived through those periods. We all had chicken pox, mumps, measles. We all had that stuff.
Laughing at Emma's comment.
But I did read a research paper that the biggest killer on the planet could be something as benign as the measles. Seriously. During the First World War, you know how terrible that was. Well, more people died who weren't combating in the war, just normal people and soldiers as well, of scarlet fever. And there's been many plagues. We talk about the Spanish flu is what that was called at the time. But disease always kills more people than war. You know the one thing that most people would miss desperately if the world turned to crap?
Red wine.
No.
I would.
The internet.
Oh no.
They'd be staring at their blank
I didn't even
phones
think
or laptops that have no power. And if they did have power, it wouldn't matter anyway because there's nothing on. The internet's died. It'd probably take 5 years of rehab to get over it. You know, each morning you get up and just look at the screen for 3 hours. You curse at it and swear and do a pretend hangout. No one's there, but sort of therapy. The world has changed so rapidly through technology. We've never been so advanced with technology, but so deplete in social course. In other words, we don't speak to each other. And I'm sure you've all seen this, where 2 girls are in a shopping centre and they're texting. They're sitting next to each other and they're texting. Who are they texting? The person sitting next to her.
I mean, I've done that. I've, as a joke, my daughter was in the bedroom and I was in the lounge room, and I sent her a message saying, "Make your mum a cup of coffee, please." We do funny things like that.
Got some big videos coming up on the micro gardening on Awesome Hooker's channel over the next few growing months. It's going to be interesting, people. If you haven't seen it, make sure you're there in the next few months, because Awesome Hooker micro gardening specials.
Hey, Ella Bella.
Hi, Ella.
Yeah, Vinny, yep.
Yeah, there's something that not many people do for you, Mac, is read books. The other thing you can do, and this might sound strange, is you could write. You could write a book. I've written 2, but there's a story in everybody, seriously. "Dorry, would you meet me?" says Steve. She says, "Yes, if I had an iron lung and only a few days to live."
mean?
Books are wonderful. I remember when I was young, I used to read books, and
He's old now.
it's like a movie. Like your interpretation. That's what's different with books, is that when we watch a visual display, we all get to see the same thing. But when you read, and the context of how you see what the written word is, my story from the book could be different than Dory's. It's just how it is. But no one reads anymore.
I do. I like to read.
I wrote a thesis on the concept of time relevance to mass.
Vinny, that's
Is that
that's
anything
bit
to do
deep.
with Doctor Who, Vinny? You know, TARDIS?
What books have you wrote? I was asking you.
Time and relative dimension in space. Everyone's got a book in them, believe me. It could be a fictional love story full of lust and vengeance, or it could be an adventure story, or it could be simply a physiological story about life.
Say it again. Say that word again. Physiological.
Physiological. It's hard to say it incorrectly.
What are you trying to say?
Physiological story.
Physiological, psychological.
Yeah, I mean, the English language is terrible, isn't it, to be honest? But there's a story in all of you. It's not, I'll tell you how you work it, how I eventually worked out how I could write a story. I did a storyboard, which I put in characters, events, didn't do a timeline at first, but characters, events, outcomes, what happened to who, and then you can fill in the blanks by working off a storyboard that you've written. And you can change it as you go along. You might not like one character that you've written in, so he dies an untimely death.
Yeah, we've got people around the area where I live that VMAC that what they call book libraries. So they've made up like a little, I suppose an oversized mailbox, you want to say, and people can donate books. Go get a book. When you finish, you take it back, or you can donate some yourself, and it's free, just out the front of people's places.
And it's quite. We got one around in.
Yeah, we've got one around the corner.
In Bassendean, there's
And
one
then
that's
there's
a book.
children one.
It's a book repository actually, where you go in and you hand in your old books, and you might put 10 in, and they'll give you 5 to take away. 5 you haven't read. So, and they don't even sell them for very
Book
much.
exchange.
Yeah, like a book exchange.
Yeah, but the one I'm talking about is actually outside people's yards, out in their front yard, that people can slip a book in, take a book out to read it.
I know young kids don't have books at all. If you went to a young couple's house, there'd be no books in the house.
In where?
Well, if you went to even one of our kids' houses.
No, Emily,
No,
like me's an
not like
avid
when we
reader.
were kids, where you had a library of books.
No, well, no, Jess.
Not many, though, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Well, let's be honest, anything on YouTube you can probably, unless it's a practical thing, you can basically say it's not real, it's made up.
It's true.
No, I mean storylines that you hear, but whereas you see someone grow a garden, and most gardeners and most cooks love to share their ideas. They don't tell you, I don't tell you what you should cook, what you should read, but what I'll give you is what my interpretation of a particular meal is. And I always say to people, you don't have to make it my way, just use it as a loose guideline, because everyone's different with what they like. And I never measure. Have any of you seen me do measuring on cooking where I go, yeah, 1 teaspoon of this, 2 I just put it in my hand and go, yeah, about that much, throw it in, because I go on sight, texture and taste, add a bit more of this, yep, good, because that's how I've always cooked. I've never been able to follow a recipe in my life. It's like, oh, I don't get it. I read one and think, that's what?
Yeah, true, like that.
1 3/4 ounces of this, 3/4 ounces of that. Make sure you scrape it flat before, no, just bang it in there, chuck it in, just chuck it in. Taste it as you go.
You know the video I missed of yours, when you did a live stream, Vinny, you went to the zoo or something, did you? I didn't get to see that because you took it down. Vinny, did you go
No,
to the
I didn't
zoo?
see that. Did you do a zoo one? You went to the zoo, Vinny?
Or was it a
Visiting family.
week, I think it was Vinny, a week or so ago. You went somewhere, but then you took it down. I missed the live
I don't know what it
stream.
is to cost to go into the zoo here.
Aquarium,
I think if two of us went to the Perth Zoo, which is a really big zoo, it's a good zoo, it's over $50 for just 2 people, and then when you go inside, food is at 3 times the normal price. That's the same. You go to the footy, You go to something, cricket, and you go and buy a pie, you think, oh, I'll pay $4. They say, $9, thanks. You go, what? For one pie? We like, at the zoo, I like watching penguins. They always fascinate me, they really do. Probably because I never went to Antarctica. I'm dreaming, oh, I wish I was a penguin.
I like all animals. I could spend hours at the zoo.
In fact, you could get several of the Boit members and you could make a Boit zoo. I'm sure if my good friend Jeff is watching, I'll give him the idea of making a Boit zoo. From each cage you go and there's a new character that you recognise who lives on the bottom of Boit, but they've been put into Jeff Tower's Boit zoo. You listening, Jeff? Which section would you be in? Vinny, what section of the Boit zoo would you be in? You've got to pick an animal.
Oh yeah, Melbourne Community Casino. Tuna kuda pie. What's a tuna kuda pie?
Kuda pie is Indian for eating
Yeah,
goat embryo, actually.
yeah.
Cutie pie. Yeah, I'm eating meth heads that are born again Christians who point out your evil.
You should have interviewed them, Benny.
Ella says that Vinny would be in the chimp section. Well, we'd know that one person in a van wouldn't be in the great ape section. He wouldn't qualify.
Yeah, well, I believe animals are amazing.
Skunk,
We all
probably.
have animal totems, I believe.
You're happy to revert back to baboons. Is it the shiny red bum that attracts you, Vinny? You can be honest with us. You're amongst friends. I don't have a fear of any animal. Like when I was a kid, I used to play with snakes until someone told me they'd kill me. I used to pick up bandies, dugongs, king browns, tiger snakes. I just thought it was fun. But later on when I got older, they said, that'll kill you. I thought, well, okay, I'll stop picking them up.
I used to have a pet bat.
Bats are quite cute, actually. They look like miniature chihuahuas with black wings. That's what bats remind me of. But when I was a kid in the UK, one of the most common pet, there's a different time and a different era, of course.
Yeah, it was 100 odd years ago.
Well, not quite. But a lot of people had monkeys, little tiny monkeys. And I'm not kidding you.
Wrong.
And they were pets and they were always dressed up in stiff clothing. I didn't ever see an organ grinder with a monkey, but I did see lots of people walk around with pet monkeys.
Yeah, but that's soon.
And that's in the
Apparently
UK
illegal.
where it's always cold.
Oh, look. You should take the camera over there to that animal.
Oh, a millipede.
Yeah.
No, I'll scare people. Yeah, that's the problem because dogs are inquisitive creatures and they'll snap and have a crack at them, but one decent bite from a rattlesnake could kill it, unfortunately. Yeah, we get the red belly. We get so many snakes in WA. I can't even imagine how many there are.
Yeah, so many near misses my mum had with the red-bellied black snake and all those. Walking down the steps on the front veranda, and there was one curled up just under the second step. One of them bit into the garbage bag she was carrying.
Actually, VMAT monkeys aren't predominantly in jungles. They're in terrain, in other words, mountain cliffs. That's where most of the monkeys are, believe it or not. In a jungle, they're sort of more circumspect to being eaten by something. There are many places around the world where there are huge colonies of baboons and different type of gibbons that live in cliff faces. It's the most common area, as long as there's water and they can go down into the valley to get whatever they want to eat. I didn't know that myself until about 10 years ago.
I'm going to take them away for a minute.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'll show them.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know what you were doing. You have to hold like that, I think. You're going to do a Richard Attenborough.
Here we go. I'm taking you.
a David Attenborough.
I'm taking you on a walk, people. Tell me, when can you see that? Look at that. Oh, it's not focusing.
I'll pack away the food and birds.
You see that? Go over in the... No, that's a bit blurry. A wally. It's a wally. As we call it, centipede. VMAC, I can't put that on a leash, it's too little. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
You can't even see it yet. It's not coming up. It's only just starting to go towards the... You're just walking on her camera, I can see.
Why is that all wet here now?
I don't know. How do I turn this bloody camera around? That way? No, that way?
This is
There we go.
Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crystal Hangout. Can you remind me about that?
What? What are you talking about?
Next Sunday 9 p.m. is a Crystal Hangout.
A crystal as in rock crystals, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Next Sunday at 9 p.m. Crystal time on whose channel?
Awesome.
Awesome Hooker. If Awesome isn't digging or growing something, she's pulling rocks out to show you.
You're going to have to
Sounds more like a surgeon.
You're going to have to remind me, Awesome. Look, can you see yourselves talk?
Yeah, but there's a delay.
I know. I'm shy.
To show you my knees. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Na 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 na. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oi. Ah, they're my fingers. Just fooling. It's good though, doesn't it? Oh, my knee's killing me. Oh, my knee. My bloody knee. Kick you here, okay?
Actually, where's that thing gone? Oh, he's going towards you.
There's a millipede.
Don't bring it in the house.
There he is. Hello. They're funny looking buggers, aren't they, millipedes? We get really big centipedes in Australia, and I'm not kidding you. About a foot long, big yellow, big round pincers on them. And if they're running across carpet, it sounds like cat claws going across. And if they bite you, they are poisonous. Never heard anyone die from it, but we got some bugs here, I tell you. Don't worry about the sharks, the crocodiles, the snakes and the spiders. The other stuff will get you first. Well, I am sure, hang on, what's Vinny saying? What I used to do with old sheep, Vinny, that died, is that I'd dig a big hole, plant the sheep, a whole lot in the ground, probably about 5 feet down, cover it with a bit of compost and soil, and put fruit trees on top. Absolutely brilliant. Fertilisers last for years. And that's what they used to do a lot of the time with dead stock. I've seen moose, they're big buggers, but a mad kangaroo, you probably don't want to meet a mad kangaroo. They will chase you and hunt you down. I think in the last 10 years only about 4 or 5 people have been killed by kangaroos. Normally, unfortunately, it's little kids most of the time they get, because they've got a massive claw on their back leg. I mean, I'm talking massive claw. I'd say 2 to 3 inches long, and it's a huge ripper. It will just tear and open you up. But
well, we'll have to send Black out some animals. She says she's only got little bugs.
has she?
Yeah, so we'll send her some.
There's more animals there than you can imagine in Australia. Yeah, the wife's going to.
Am I?
Yeah, talk about animals in Australia.
There's lots. There's lots of animals.
We've got lots of deer. A lot of Americans don't know, but we've got masses of deer, red and grey in Australia. Goats. We've got more camels than anywhere in the world. And at any given time, there's at least 65 million roos. Then there's feral pigs. Here's the list that goes on. Donkeys.
I see you, darling.
Wild horses.
Deer. Yeah, we've got deer.
Yeah, they even farm them, even the wild ones they farm.
Oh, thanks, Bella.
So you just turned the camera around there, it must be a good minute delay.
It is, yeah.
It's pretty slow, isn't it?
Yeah, 30-second delay. Who else is going? Who have I missed? Oh, no. Yeah, it's like when people hit kangaroos out here, hey? Like when they hit the cars, it can do a lot of damage.
Like wipes cars out.
Yeah.
Actually, the biggest one that does a lot of damage is emus.
Maybe Mac was saying about people that hit moose.
Oh yeah, you'd kill some people doing that for sure.
Oh, your cat catches possums, Vinny. I used to have a cat that did that.
They're stinky buggers, possums.
Hey, Blue.
I know.
Yeah.
They're smelly buggers.
Yeah, we used to have pet possums that lived in the roof house at home, and we'd feed it.
Well,
Possums, bats.
In Bustleton we had a family of them, wasn't it? Little baby ones.
Yeah.
The little baby possums look like little monkeys. They look like the ones
Yeah,
we
they're
had.
cute though. You totaled a 4-ton truck with a kangaroo. God, where did it hit you, Vinny?
Depends how big the roo is.
Yeah.
Worst one I ever saw was a motorbike guy hit a roo in Enever. Killed him. The roo apparently bounced up just as he came across, so he got the full force into his head.
It went, oh.
It killed him instantly. You're talking about an 80-kilogram kangaroo,
Yeah.
and moving at about 100 kilometres an hour on the bike. He didn't stand a chance.
Oh, chipmunks are cute.
I mean, the only sort of version of chipmunk we get in Australia is squirrels. That's about as close as we get, isn't it?
What? Yeah. Are you going, VMAC? Oh, okay. Have a good day, VMAC.
See you, VMAC.
I actually started, it reminds me of the documentary. I started watching that, Leaving Neverland. I don't know what to make of that story, I tell you.
You haven't finished watching it yet, have you?
No, I don't know if I want to. TV guy who picked, yeah, I know, Emma. We've watched shows where people have picked up roadkill and eaten it.
Are there any Ricky Gervais fans out there? Ricky Gervais, who's an English comedian. He's got a new show out on Netflix called Afterlife.
It's good, actually.
It's a black comedy. If you get a chance to watch it, it's called Afterlife. Has a lot of characters from previous shows, like Ricky Gervais did the one with the nursing home called Derek. That was a series. There was a series called Extras, and of course The Office. And there's quite a few characters, same actors, that are in this new series called Afterlife.
Put camera back.
What are you doing? What, face Neverland?
No, the yard, like
Well, it's black.
that way, so you can still read the text.
Well, the only way I can read the text is to look at. I can't do it in reverse.
Yeah, yeah, that Leaving Neverland, I just don't know what to make. I sort of, what are you doing? Sort of explained to the seeds because they didn't watch it, but I didn't realise we had two different versions. I was watching a catch up, the uncut and the normal, and I watched the uncut one. It went on forever. But who lets their 5-year-old stay in the same bed with a person they've only known for a week? That, for a start, was red flag to me.
That's a good idea. I think there's something. I mean, I know a bit about the subject. One of the things that
Alabella wants to do the leg thing again.
that was my arm. That's an arm, a hand seagull. Walk like an Egyptian. But I'm 60. I haven't got any guns. Oh look. You get given a gift when you play sport for nearly all of your life. You get to keep the physique. You ache a little differently, and the bones don't move like. I can't really scratch completely behind my back anymore because shoulders don't sort of operate in the way they used to. But it helps. I think some of the things that you do earlier, you get you get memory muscle. And I don't mean.
Oh, awesome.
We're talking about what you put in, you get to keep. Doesn't hang around forever. Atrophy affects everybody with age. But I still got legs.
There you go, Alabella, watch out, he's trying to
Oh, what happened here? I turned the camera too far over. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just do the leg. Can you see the leg? This is hopeless. Right. Here we go. Calves. No, calves.
Oh, God.
But you do, you get to keep a little bit of the effort that you put in when you're younger with your physical. If you're just a lazy slob and do nothing and sit in a van. Have you noticed that person in the van's head is grown into the size of a very large watermelon? I'll stand up and show them each.
Yeah,
All the women are going crazy.
it's Ella Bella. Yep. Do it for Ella. Come on, take it for the team. Not that high up. Oh my God, yes, chocolate.
I'm only doing
awesome.
that because Steve's recording. I know what he's like.
Awesome chocolate fixes everything. Like I've said, there are just things. There are just some things in life that need to be rich. Coffee, chocolate, and men.
Funniest comedy skit I ever saw was the woman that went into a psychiatrist and said, I really don't think there's a future for me to have sex again ever. And she went off about 10 minutes. He's just got his hand up here going, And at the end she said, what do you think I should do? And he says, chocolate's not that expensive. I thought, great answer. Chocolate fixes everything. Let's go to Studio 2.
Studio 2. Hi. What are you, what are you doing? Changing costumes for Ella?
I'm stripping
Are you
completely
getting-
naked.
He's getting dressed up for you, Ella.
We're just about to operate butt cam.
Oh God. Yes, chocolate to me is, yeah. Love it. I have fits and fads of it though. I can sit and eat a whole block of it. And then I might not have any for a while.
One of the things we eat a lot of in food is garlic and onions, because they are, in my opinion, nature's gift in warding off disease. Not entirely, of course.
Yeah, I am strong. Ella says I must be a strong woman to put up with you.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of patience. Sympathy.
I'll get me violin out. Hang on.
Naked seeds.
Actually, we got a violin.
Don't know if I can handle that.
The wife's had a
Fine
violin
needs.
for years. It's a Stradivarius.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I have a violin.
Yeah.
A real one. Well, actually, no, it was made by Stradivarius's understudy.
17 something.
There was a young guy who Stradivarius was teaching the art of making violins, and I have one of his violins.
And she can't play it.
No, I can't. That's the thing though, you should play it. The instrument shouldn't sit there not being played, but I don't know how to play it. I can do this one. That's the smallest violin in the world.
It's probably worth about, not big money, probably about 10 grand tops.
Yeah, I
if
don't
that.
know.
But it's more the point that it's very old. And you've had it for so long, we'd never sell it.
No. I'll do a video on it one day and show you. That can be part of my channel building. Yes, do a video on the violin. That's just going to bring everybody in.
Just type in hello in the chat for me.
Why?
And I'll get everyone to sub to your channel.
Why?
Because they can.
Yeah, they can, but I don't have
And
to.
you've got lots of videos coming up on the European tour, so
Yeah, but they can go on yours.
just type in and say hello.
You
Just
can't.
type, just say
You
hello.
can't type in. Can't type. Now I'm trying to read the question. You can't play any instrument, Alabella.
I will get myself another guitar one day. The grandkids have got old enough now that they don't destroy them. So if you're not subscribed to Mystic Angel, who does all sorts of incredible videos in the upcoming European vacation, please subscribe now. If you don't subscribe, she'll bounce you. No, I'm just kidding. No, she will. She'll bounce you otherwise.
I won't bounce. Maybe time you out, but I won't bounce.
there will be a lot of videos coming up on her channel about Europe, so
So,
just click on it when you see a video come up with a sticky beak.
well, I better get some videos out there.
Hmm.
Every couple of months, 3 years, I might do one. Just kidding, just kidding.
Oh, when you get the good camera, you do lots of photography and videos.
So Awesome, is your crystal thingy you're doing, is that like an open thing or is it like a private thingy? Ever how that works?
The crystal one.
Yeah.
There's another lady, isn't there, Awesome, that's interested in that as well. I remember hearing you discuss it with her.
Open, okay.
It doesn't matter whether you believe in a certain subject. It's
So
whether...
I'll just whisper this, you realise it's opened. You'll have seeds in the background doing smart comments, don't you, Awesome?
Get your rocks off. But the subject matter of a discussion is important to the person who's bringing up the subject matter. In other words, people that believe in certain things, they really do. So I never mock anyone that has a belief in anything.
Alabella wants you to do a video with the finger thing. Okay, I'll get him to do it just for you, Ella.
What would be good is the... see if I can do it here.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, get him to do
I've got to
it.
get the camera here. Oh, I couldn't walk until I was... hang on. Oh, I can't do it. Check out my kneecaps.
So, did
Check
you
out the kneecaps. Not bad, eh? Check that out. Hang on. What is that? We won't even go there.
So you could do shadow puppets. Did you ever do that as a kid? She's dead. Ella's dead.
Isn't it good just to have a chat?
Black Cat thought it was your nose at first.
It's good just to have a chat, have a laugh, and you know, I will in the future have a better camera, laptop setup or desktop, and we will do hangouts.
Yeah, shadow puppets.
Just for fun, just to get together and have a laugh.
I do it with my
We don't have to
grandkids.
raise money for anything. We don't have to put any dollar signs up.
What? What?
Just
Come
get
on.
together
Just
and
kidding.
have a good time. This is what the format really should have always been about. Having a laugh, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, because you can't buy it. Knowledge, you have to be able to do it. In other words, I can teach somebody about gardening, but until they get their hands dirty, then they'll learn the mistakes, then they'll learn the correct way to do it, because they teach themselves in the end. So anything to do with knowledge, cooking,
Thank you,
sewing,
Black
making
Cat.
stuff, that's all good stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you can't turn it around. You can't read the chat. Awesome said yes. Seeds. We laughed tonight so much over sticker boy trading cards. Where was I when you were doing that one?
I don't think I did it. Did I? Do I need to take credit for something I forgot? Alzheimer's kicking in early.
Awesome. Remember when he was born? 1865.
1812.
Oh, you kept changing it.
No, I don't. I'm 207 years old, but because I tell the truth, no one believes me, which works perfectly. It is. Life is too short to be serious, but when serious matters come to task, take them seriously, but only for a short period of time. Do you remember when you were all younger and you worried about the silliest of things? How am I going to get that fixed? How am I going to pay for that? And you worry, and then you realise it wasn't worth worrying about. I like to say sometimes I have a concern over a certain matter, but it's not going to keep me awake at night anymore. It's not going to make me, worry and fret. Just, when crap happens, as it does, life's full of these little momentous, joyous moments followed by a great deal of crap, bit more crap, and then joyous moments. All you have to do is remember those bits up the top. Just give. Seeds was talking about a car or something. The Seddon Sins Cafe in Melbourne. No, I didn't see that.
The seven, no.
Seddon. I've no musical talent in school band. I was only trusted with a triangle. Ding! That takes the comment of the night so far, Emma. I'm always going to remember you with ding. Is that in C minor or just D flat?
Sorry, Ella, that was funny. But I can relate to that. Oh my God, I got tears.
What did it say, Vinny? What was the motivational messages delivered daily?
The cowbell.
Yeah, she's gonna elevate to the cowbell section after a dozen years. I was the cowbell.
I don't think we saw that one, Vinny.
No, Vinny's going to tell us what the inspirational messages on the chalkboard were. You know, some of the funniest things I've seen in my life, and I mean this seriously, is sitting next to someone who's dying. They tell some of the funniest things you can ever possibly imagine. They always sort of are self-deprecating. They'll tell crap that happened to them. But laughter is the last medicine as well. In other words, near the end of your life, if you can keep that, you'll laugh yourself to the end.
Awesome played the nose whistle. What in the hell is a nose whistle?
Shall I do the American next, Nathan? Oh, that's the Australian one. Sorry. Took years of training. Went to the school of nose.
Come on, Vinny, how long's this message? How long's it
Must be
taking
a
you
long
to
message.
type it
Simon
out?
said, my girlfriend broke up with me, so I stole her wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back to me? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Australian humour's a little bit like that, actually. If any of these Americans went to a comedy night in Australia, they'd be thinking the comedian was personally attacking them. But they're not. They're just taking the piss out of you. I'll need one of your little round things, dear. I'll let you do it just for the hell of it. So if you can keep laughing even through adversity, when times are tough, when you're weary,
and feeling small.
because it's shit's shit. I mean, shit happens. I mean, it's unpleasant. It drives you nuts. But remember going back in time that you got over it, and you're probably just thinking of a particularly shitty moment because I'm saying it, but you've gotten over it. It's not stuck with you, because our human spirit and the frailty of human nature says, let's not be miserable. Let's move forward. Yeah, shit happened, but guaranteed, further down the track, there's shit heading my way, just like for you and everyone else. But I think of the good times. What's a nose whistle? That's a nose whistle. I learned that off Awesome. And if I take your pants off, I can give you the bass version.
Ella would like that. Do it for Ella. Go on, take it for the team. For Ella.
I shall not tempt the woman with temptation she can never afford.
No, that's actually Vinny's job.
What? To strip
show
naked?
To show the butt cheeks.
Yep, Vinny, you got a big ass, mate. A lot of these women will sing, I like big butts and I can't deny. Yeah, have a laugh. Life's way too short. I don't fear Father Time, although he's obviously creeping over the hill towards me. It's when sometimes people feel their mortality. They can actually take that all the way to the grave. Otherwise, they worry about dying before they die. It's going to happen. We don't get a book that says, you will die in bed with 9 lesbians. That's what's going to happen. I'll be thinking, yeah, that's all right. But it doesn't work that way. It's like, boom. What was that? It was a freight train.
Tell him you're dreaming.
Am I a ghost?
Tell him you're dreaming. Oh, I love that movie. Vinny would know The Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of you seen the movie The Castle?
Hey, Dad, they got 2 lances here.
What do they want for them?
Oh, $60 each?
Tell them they're dreaming.
Righto.
It's an Australian movie. I love it. Love it. What's this then, love?
What do you call this, love?
A rissoles.
Rissoles. Your mother's got a talent, hasn't she, kids?
And Baroque. We just get bombing. For I love that movie.
They probably wouldn't get a lot of the Australian movie humour because it's a lot of black humour in Australian comedy. Otherwise, there's a double entendre, two-sided sword, if you like.
Oh, black comedy. That was speaking of that, good movie. Fargo. That was a good movie too.
Yeah. I do like a good black comedy because it takes the piss out of life.
Yeah, The Castle. It's Australian humour, Australian movie, but yeah, and what I got out of that, I always say to the kids when they're having a shit day, whatever, part in the movie, the guy says, it's the vibe. That's his answer to all problems of the world, or if something goes wrong, it's just the vibe. It's just the whole Marbo thing. Only on Wednesday.
I don't fear death, just seeing Vinny and Ass Chaps again.
Only on Wednesday, a tens machine for $40. I'm gonna buy one. Vinny, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you know some of the funniest black comedy comes from the Pythons? Give you a good example of that would be, bring out your dead, bring out your dead.
Yep.
I'm not dead yet. You're nearly dead, shut up. He's not dead, I can't take him. Oh, he's nearly dead. I'm good actually, I feel like I could go for a run.
I haven't seen.
Takes him over and just beats him over the head. Gives the guy a couple of quid, go on, off you go.
I haven't seen that one, Vinny.
Tense machines is vibration that's one-dimensional,
Oh,
which can stimulate, but it also does a lot of damage to the joints. Vinny.
I just have a red
Walking,
wine.
the best exercise. I know you struggle with that, but
Yeah,
just walk slowly.
No,
Walking is one of the best exercises your body can take.
a red wine relaxes my muscles. That's all I need. I don't need to go spend $40.
Yeah, my wife uses red wine as a therapy, and after about 6 bottles, she's good. She's good to go. I drink very little myself. I probably would have, in a month, maybe a couple of beers. During winter, I like a little bit of Stones, green ginger and ice, or a little port.
Oh yes, Life of Brian. Yeah, good movie.
I'm not the Messiah. Life's good until you get the shitty bits in between, but just ignore them. There's some good stuff coming after that. A lot of sadness down on the bottom of YouTube, and I'm getting a serious tone here, but there's a lot of sadness, as in anger. You got to say hatred. You got to say people are lost. Hello, Life with Diane.
Hi, Life.
There's a lot of good people down here too. Lots of people who like to have fun, laugh,
I missed live
and
live
tell
stream the
silly
other day.
things and make me laugh. But there's a lot of sadness, and not much we can do about it. I've seen Death in Brunswick. Yeah,
I mean,
Funny.
sometimes things in life are quite funny.
we won't tell them about Bad Boy Bobby though, will we, Vinny? We don't want to lead them down that path. Meow. What are you doing? Just wrapping the cat.
Oh no, what's the other?
Bad Boy
Dad and Dave.
Bobby. That's going to raise a few eyebrows, I'd reckon.
Vinny, do you know Dad and Dave? Oh, when the father says to the son, "Well, that water's a bit awful. It's got a bit of body to it." And the
One of
son
the best
says, "Yeah, there's a
lines.
dead
I've
kangaroo in
got
there."
several Dad and Dave videos on my channel, and they do incredibly well. Thousands of views. One of the funniest lines in Dad and Dave, and only Vinny would probably get what I'm saying, his dad was up on the hill, and up come Dave, and Dave said, "What are you doing, Dad?" And he says, Dad says, I'm looking at those sheep on top of the hill. I don't recognise them. And Dave looks around into Dad's face and say, "They're not sheep, they're your bloody eyebrows." That was, you had to be there, is what I'm saying. It's not sheep, it's your bloody eyebrows. So he's got these big bushy eyebrows thinking there's sheep on the hill. Funny. Some great Australian radio shows. You remember Bluebells? Is it called Bluebells, the old comedy?
Yeah,
well,
no, Bluebell was the copper show, wasn't it?
no, there was.
Bluebell.
Yeah, I think Vinny knows which one I'm talking about. Bellbird was the TV series.
Bellbird was the copper.
No, it was.
I don't know.
It had Laurie Fields in it and all that. Oh yeah, you wouldn't last, Vinny. Put your money on the fridge, Wog.
Oh, Kingswood Country. Oh my God.
Neville's
I
out the
remember
front.
that.
Who's
Move-
Neville? We won't go there.
Yeah, move the Kingswood to get the Toronto out to get the Ford so I can get to the Kingswood.
Yeah, Humour in Australia is dry, black. Yeah, that'll be right, Orson. You're probably seeing yak by this stage of your life.
Oh, stop it.
Studio 2.
I'll take him for a little walk.
Yeah, this should be right.
Oh, it'll be easier. How do I turn the camera around?
Don't do the house.
Yeah.
It's all going to change.
Oh. Go show the buggies. Just taking you for a little walk. Yeah, there's good movies you got to watch. Aren't they cute? I don't want to drop this phone. I'll just go in the back door. That's just dog food for the dog. Yeah. Kitchen. All this will change. I love chooks. I like collecting chickens. Oh yes, hello, hello. Absolutely love the French guy. Oh my God, that is so funny. One of the bedrooms. Like Teddy's. Probably moving too fast. Bathroom. Probably Seeds is out there on my phone making some smart comment. The lounge. Let's turn the aircon off, I think. Oh, I can't. Oh, sorry, I got you dark for a sec. The old fireplace doesn't work though. Couple of my mum's German Bibles. They're about 100 and odd years old. And look, awesome. I don't know if you can see that. A Tibetan bell. Peekaboo doll. Now this is the best room. Are you ready? Tell me when you're ready. This is the best room. This is where all the action happens. Seeds is out there listening. It's small, but we're going to extend. How much delay is there? Ah, look, see? See, he's checking up on me. This is next door.
You still have the fireplace on it.
Oh.
You got it back on you?
Yes. There, so
It's good,
you...
honey, it's good.
Oh. How much delay is there? Ah, look, see? See, he's checking up on me. This is next door. Hey, put your sound back on. Ah. You got your sound on?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. I just realised it's because I turned this off.
That's probably why you can't hear anything. A lot of that's going to change in there. This whole wall's going for starters.
Yeah, so it's just a small 2-bedroom, but it'll be made bigger shortly.
5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms.
Oh yeah, Muriel's wedding. I don't know if I've got to delay here with the comments now.
You're
Love,
awful, Muriel.
yeah, love Muriel's wedding.
That sort of revived the Abbas, didn't it, when that came back on?
Yeah. I'm just going to have a drink of water. Take my water.
Good for you.
Good for you.
We do eat lots of fruit, don't we, really? Nuts, berries.
if my comments are working.
I don't know. Just type in there, see if they're working. Maybe everyone's gone home.
I left them probably back in the house. Oh dear.
Well, if you're bored of us by now, just let us know. We'll let you go. I'm sure there's other places you need to go and argue, fight and accuse people of... I'm only kidding. This is therapy for everybody here. You're going to go and just be nice. Not argue with anyone. And make cooking videos. I expect everybody in this chat to make at least one cooking video. Whatever you like. Hamburger, soup, roast. Give it a go. I'd love to see what you cook. Personally, I would love to watch it. Well, it's your kingdom, Ella. You're never stuck anywhere. You can always get a crane and break the walls down and get you out of there, but it's your little valley of peace. Your home should be that. It should be a solace, a place of good things, until you turn the internet on. And all the crazies come out. Yes, I think we're about 20 or 30 second lag.
Yeah, must be.
So if I get struck by lightning, I'll keep talking for 30 seconds. Then you'll just see a big white flash. But in Australia, in my state, not a cloud to be seen. We've had less than 1/4 inch of rain since the start of the year. How you going, Dad? No bloody rain again. It'll rain one day.
Yeah.
It'll rain for a week somewhere on the planet. Yet I've been to countries where it just doesn't stop raining. You go to some of the Asian countries and it's monsoon time of the year. Even in Darwin it's the same. It just rains and rains. There's nothing exceptional about 5 or 6 inches of rain in a day in Darwin. It just drains off into the deltas and you wouldn't know it had rained after it stops. Here, 5 inches of rain, we'd all be going around in canoes. Because we don't get very much of it. Mind you, where we are, it's mainly river sand. We're not far from the Swan River. Oh, didn't. I never know where I've turned the bloody thing on. Let me just check. Pull it out. Do this. I think it's working, I'm not sure. So I'm just about talked out. Are you about talked out?
Mm-hmm.
I think the people probably need to go and get breakfast or go for their morning 5-mile walk. Or in Vinny's case, a sprint for 10 mile. But anyway, if you have been watching, it's been enjoyable. Good sort of back and forth banter. I've enjoyed it. What about you, boss?
Yep.
Oh. Camera failed.
Have a good day, night.
Yep, so have a good day, guys, if you're on the other side of the world, and if you're on the eastern part of Australia, go to bed. It's far too late.
You can open one now, Awesome. We'll come into your room and annoy you.
Yeah, open one up, Awesome, and I'll be snide in the remarks. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks,